Welcome everybody to Tuesday night on a Thursday. I'm your host MCToon, and tonight we got this is different. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and you may know Josh Monday. He's a flat earther that's going to do some experiments and stuff, and I'm pretty excited about it. He's going to be doing things with Jaron. He's already gone to Edmonton, Alberta. Edmonton, Alberta. We're going to talk about that. But here he is, everybody. Josh Monday. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, Edmonton was cool. I had a good time with Jaron. Jaron's a super nice guy and pretty laid back. And we were doing our very best out there to get as much as we could. It's just we had pretty bad weather there. So when we first got there, we thought we could see sunset. So Jaron was filming before I landed. When I landed, I looked over. Literally, I see clouds like below me as I'm landing, and I'm like, "Oh, this is bad news," because we were watching the weather the whole entire week. So we didn't really get that good of footage. Besides, I got the stars the first night. But people need to understand something. When you go do these trips, it's work. It's not like you're gonna go there and you're just big chilling and hanging out. I mean, literally, I left San Diego at 9 o'clock in the morning, got to LAX around 11:30, got there at I ended up landing at like 9:45 at night, and then getting a rental car, driving straight back to the house, filming all the way till 2 o'clock in the morning, waking up at 4:30. Jaron woke up to check the weather and it was raining, so we knew we couldn't get sunrise there. But well, we're trying to work the whole entire time and do what we can to get whatever footage we can. So it's not like it's a vacation or like it's a holiday, weekend.
Yeah.
We're actually trying to do our best. So I got to meet some interesting guys out there too.
So you met. All right. So people know Edmonton. We got to give the background first before we get too deep into it. Edmonton is about 53 degrees north, and Punta Arenas is about 53 degrees south. And so the idea was go to Edmonton or somewhere 53 north at the June solstice, and then go to the December solstice to Punta Arenas, which is then they should be, according to the globe, they should be mirror opposites of each other. North is south, south is north. The directions, everything is just flipped. So
yeah, symmetrical. I think that's a good way to put it. So that's the background. What happened is during the time that you guys went on your trip. You guys went to, for the TFE. You went to Antarctica. Did you guys this thing? Jaron came back. I was listening to what Jaron had to say about, why he flipped, because obviously he was in Flat Earth for 10 years. I wanted to see why he flipped. And then I was also listening to Flat Earthers' reactions to see how they were reacting to the TFE, to see if they had any answers for the 24-hour sun. And I heard Jaron on a show, one episode where he was like on Google Earth. And he was showing that up north, he was actually showing Edmonton, Canada, which is crazy. He was showing Edmonton, and he was showing how the sun sets left to right. And he was talking about how it's going to rise in the northeast and it's going to set in the northwest in Edmonton, Canada. So I took the idea of saying, you know what, let's check 53 degrees south, which ends up being Punta Arenas, Chile, which is exactly where you guys went. A few things that we can accomplish here that I believe. One of them is if the sun rises in the northeast and it comes towards you in the north, and then it sets in the northwest, right? And it comes over your head. And that's what happens in the June 21st, looking north. So let's go down 53 degrees south, which is Punta Arenas, and see if the sun rises in the southeast, comes towards your head, and sets in the southwest. Okay, so, and let's see if it's symmetrical. One thing I am noticing is the daylight time is almost exact. It's off by just like maybe a couple minutes. So 17 hours and 5 minutes, I think it is in the north. And then in the south, it's like 17 hours and 10 minutes, right? December 21st, right? So there's things that I'm kind of noticing here. Another thing that I'm noticing about your guys' trip was something that got me is Jaron said that when the sun was to your guys' south, right? Directly to your south when you guys were in Antarctica, that he called somebody in Australia and the sun was over their head at that time. It was like, which is another thing that was kind of making me seem like, okay, so that would mean that Australia is going to have to be outside the ice wall. So I don't see any kind of I don't see any map like that. So
Yeah.
the way to test that myself is this: go to Punta Arenas at 10 o'clock at night. The sun sets south west, right? So it's going to set southwest. And at 10 o'clock at night, it's going to be 12 o'clock in Australia. So the way I do that is I'm going to get a hold of my friend that's in Australia. And if it's 12 o'clock in Australia and the sun just went that way, I'm going to find out if the sun is over his head at 12 o'clock during the day, which probably will be. But we're going to see that. And then and I also need somebody from South Africa to also confirm that it went to South Africa as well. And I don't have anybody there yet. If you know anybody,
I do. Somebody named Star Stuff is in South Africa. I'm sure she'd be happy to help. So I can get you in contact with her.
So I think
there's others, but she has a channel and does some things. She's super nice. She's like way nicer than all of us.
Okay, perfect. So that's how I would like to have that way we could kind of track the sun. Now, something I've been noticing, obviously, as you probably know, is everybody has been, not everybody, but there's been a few people out there that have been like already like flipping on me and like making videos about me and saying things that are you know, just totally like wrong and lies and everything. So I've already experienced that already. And so there's a pattern here that we're seeing, right? You go to test the earth and you go to try to find the truth, and what happens is people automatically judge you and automatically slander you for what you're doing. So to me, it's like, I'm not going to make any response videos like everybody wants me to. You should make a response video to this guy. I'm Christian. My show is based on Bible studies, right? So to bring a division or to bring slandering somebody on my show is not going to make any sense. You know, my audience is not trying to have me do that, you know, so
yeah,
I won't do that. But
well,
yeah, it's already happening.
Now I've heard from flat earthers quoting the Bible saying test all things, and that's what you're doing. They should be excited.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to test all things, because I'm not here to please men. I'm here to please God. And as long as I'm good with God and he knows what I'm doing this with a good heart. I'm not doing this at any deceit or any type of like I don't have any like bad like things in me, like, oh, I don't want to do this to get somebody mad or to do this. No, I'm really just testing the claims, and I'm testing the globe claims. That's what I'm doing. The globe claims is that it's going to rise in the southeast and it's going to set in the southwest, just like it did up north. Now that I've already seen up north, I had a few people that up there kind of explain to me exactly what the sun does, because I didn't really get a really good shot of what the sun does. Only a little bit of time I got to see what the sun did, but I did see the twilight of the sun, and it's very similar to what you guys saw on the live stream when Jaron was live streaming with Witsit, where they had the twilight of the light out there towards
across the water,
Antarctica. Yeah.
So I did get to see that. The videos don't do it justice. The phone cameras just can't capture it. But when you're there, it's never dark when you're looking south. So
that's how it was up north.
Yeah, you don't see the sun, but it's like there's where the sun is. You're looking south. That's where it is.
I think the stars are better to get out there during the winter, because the twilight happens and literally the stars. You could barely see the stars out there with the twilight when we're in, up north.
Edmonton might have a little more light pollution than Punta Arenas.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but Punta Arenas is not a big town, and outside of Punta is not a lot, so there isn't a ton of light pollution. So I think that might be good. But you're right, though. The time lapses I didn't have a lot of hours of the sun being down, and later in the time lapse, the sun is coming up, and so it starts getting brighter and washing out the time lapse.
Yeah.
So, but I used the Nikon P1000 has the time lapse, a star setting, and it takes a whole bunch of pictures and merges them together, and then it parks one picture, and then keeps going and parks a second. So over the time lapse, you get like 4, 5, 6 different individual time lapses that are each a further accumulation from the previous one. So you can actually see it when you just go through those several of them. So good enough. The thing I missed was I didn't aim it quite high enough.
That's the hard part. It's like you have that's another thing people don't understand is like when you set up, you set up the camera and everything, you want to make sure everything is good. But like, if you're not like a photographer, like if you're not like, somebody that knows what they're doing, you're just kind of trusting what you think. Like, all right, I think I'll put it up here and I'll record. You don't really know, because I don't really know, I'm not like a photographer. I got a couple, I got some ideas from people, yourself and some other people, about how to use it. But I mean, I'm just trying to do my best. But did you end up filming the sunrise sunset in Punta Arenas? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So
you did. Is it on your show? Is it on your channel?
It wasn't me. It was I got the sun setting with the P1000 and with the not the action cam. I got both of them. The sun setting, the sun rising, I did not get, because I was trying to get the stars. Oh, okay. So I was up late, and then Will got up early. So he used his drone for both the sunrise and the sunset from right above that main east-west road.
Is that on his channel? I want to see that.
I think it is. I
saw the one.
I have the video, or I
saw the sunrise only.
Yeah, we can, him. We can get it from him if we want directly. Just get he'll send the raw. He doesn't need, he doesn't protect any of that. So, So you can see, the cool thing is you can see the road, and the road's a straight east-west road. Mm-hmm. So that's your guide there to know what direction is. So when the sun is coming up, we can see, oh, there it is right there to the south of the road. That's east-west here. And
it comes, so what my idea is, so basically it's rising in the southeast and it comes towards your head, over your head. And then
it's to the north of you midday.
The north of you, and then it goes down to the south.
Yeah,
southwest.
big arc.
Okay, that's pretty much what happened in the north. So that's what I want to go film and see. You know, so this is the reason why everything is kind of happening here is because the AE map is what I pretty much I came up on as a flat earther. Is the AE map, kind of like the Rob Skiba, the AE map, Antarctica on the outside, with the sun, going clockwise over the flat Earth, right? So that's and it worked in the north for me. Basically, if I'm looking at the sun setting, it's going to be setting left to right, which is kind of similar to how it would probably be on a rotating, a sun rotating, clockwise over your head. So now I was not aware of the sun setting right to left in the south. I was aware of it probably looking straight on the equator, but I didn't know that. It sets right to left in the south before finding out from after you guys' trip.
And it's something that Jared really loves. And to me, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess. But like, he loves it. And to me, it's just, oh yeah, it's a fact. But it definitely is it's a thing, right? So, right, if this is the map, then it's got to be going the same direction no matter where you are, north or south. It's got to go left to right as it sets. So if it goes right to left, then it doesn't match that map. I was reading this. So if you don't mind a little aside here, this is a book by a flat earther, Jack Stone.
Okay.
He goes by Flat Earth Data online, and he suggested to me that I buy it because he said I'm in it. But he didn't tell me where. And now
you're reading through the whole book.
No, oh my goodness, no. He never stops talking when he's online. He talks so much that when he's on with other flat earthers, they get annoyed with him because he won't stop. He won't let them talk. So, for example, this page right here, this is one paragraph. There's no indentation along the side here. Right. It's just rambling. It's all it is. It's just rambling. So I did find the chapter talking about Antarctica right here. So, and I underlined it. So he's got a little clip of the Gleason map there. You see that? And then he's highlighted what the Gleason map claims for the two solstices, which is perfect for our conversation. And if you read the Gleason map for the December solstice, it says that there's no light at all past 80 degrees south, I think. And we were right at 80 degrees south. We're like, there's a lot of light here. Anyway, so this underlined part, I'll read right here. It says, there would be no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, but because if there were, this map would not be scientifically accurate in representing the world as a whole. Now, this was before TFE, of course, and that was the position of all the flat earthers that I knew, except maybe there are a couple of outliers. But
there's a couple. There's someone like QNFE, probably like Nachiketa, I think that's his name. Where they have, I don't know what QNFE's position is because I was trying to find out, but he's pretty vile like to people, so I don't really
he's horrible. Yeah.
So I'm just saying he tried to hit me up and say, hey, I could prove your biblical cosmology model wrong. And I was like, okay, well, you could jump on my show or something. At this moment, obviously, I believe the AE map is incorrect because of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So we could maybe have a conversation. I haven't talked to him yet, but I know he was talking about how Antarctica the trip was true, and that the sun does do what the globe says, but the Earth is still flat. So I wanted to try to get an idea of what he means by that. Like, I know that a lot of people talk about an apparent sun, and I'm not talking about an apparent sun as in you look up and the sun is exactly where you say it is. That's not what I mean. Like where the sun's off a little bit. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think every single human being on the earth has their own apparent sun. That's what I mean. The Bible says that God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, lesser light to rule the night, and he made the stars also. So there's one sun, one moon. Okay. And in Psalms, it also talks about how the sun does a circuit, right? So as flat earthers, we would take that as it's circuiting the flat earth, right? But if there's only one sun and it's circuiting, we got to find out what the sun is doing, and what's happening right now, I notice, is that when you are debating them, or if other people are debating like flat earthers right now, they try not to get held to a position. So what they're trying to do is say well, is this your model? No, that's not my model. I don't have that model, right? But that was our model though before. So I'm trying to find out what people's model is. Like, what is the flat Earth model that actually we're going to go with now? And I see that there's people trying.
If it's not this,
then what is it? Yeah.
And there's only a few that have offered something.
Yes, at least they're trying to figure things out, which I respect.
Well, good for you for trying, but when they do that, it winds up introducing more problems than it's solving. So there's the bipolar model where there's two poles.
Yeah.
So then the sun does go around Antarctica, but then now there's no ice wall. So the water spills off the edge. And when the sun gets to the outside, it has to Pac-Man around to the other side, or it has to.
Don't have Australia. They don't have Australia and South Africa below that pole though either.
They're in weird. Yeah. All the positions are weird. So like Hawaii is farther away from the equator than Seattle.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Right?
Yeah. I think I salute people for trying. The thing about it is we've always talked about like taking a plane from like, let's say like Australia and have it go over Antarctica to the other side. So a way that we could kind of do that is which some people probably wouldn't accept, but we could track the sun. We could track where the sun's movement is. If the sun is moving southwest, and then if you're in Australia and the sun's rising from the southeast to the southwest, and then you're in you're in South Africa and it's rising from the southeast and setting in the southwest. So you basically have it doing a circle. So what that would do if the sun is leaving Punta Arenas, right? It's setting. And then you call someone in Australia and they say it's over our head. And then all of a sudden, at 6 a.m., over here, it's going to be rising for South Africa. So we get to track it there. And then all of a sudden in Punta Arenas, we could track the sun coming back to us. So what that would do is I would believe that would say that the sun is doing a circle in that area. Okay. So for me, that's pretty good information for us to know. It's not like we shouldn't be chasing information. We need to find out what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted to do as well when I'm there. I just want to film the sun for 17 hours if I can. If I get a clear day, obviously, I want to film the sun the whole time so you know exactly what the sun's doing in Punta Arenas. Now, people would say, what's the point of going to Punta Arenas? People see sunrises, sunsets all day long. Well, the point of going there is because if the sun is rising in the southeast and it's setting in the southwest and it's doing that movement, and then I'm up north and it's rising in the northeast and setting in the northwest and it's doing the same exact movement, then we have some symmetry there. And we also have it's doing something that it's not supposed to do on the flat Earth model where the sun is basically going over a flat Earth. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
to the south of you in any way, right?
No, it should not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that became a kind of a mantra after TFE was you can't prove the shape of the ground by looking at the sky, right? Which of course wasn't the case before. Nobody said that before we went, and suddenly that's a mantra. So fortunately, when we were in Punta Arenas, we measured the ground. So along that same east-west road, we picked 2 points that were pretty far away from each other, that were right next to the road before it curved either direction. Okay. And we brought high quality GPS receivers, and we got on one point and we got a spot, and then we went stayed on the same latitude, so we didn't go north or south, and just kept going straight to the other side where the latitude was the same but the longitude had changed. And then on the sidewalk, we actually used a rock and drew a line there on both sides of it. And we measured that with a trundle wheel 4 times.
Okay.
So we have the start position and the stop position, and then a trundle wheel. We measure it 4 times to take the average. And according to the globe, that should be a certain distance. And geometry requires that only one geometry works for that. So if there's some other geometry that exists, should it work? Well, no, only one geometry can work for it. So whatever geometry matches is the one that's telling us something that's very important. So I used, if you look at the bottom of this, it's got a little, this isn't a legend. It's got a ruler thing on it. This isn't like hold this up to here to find out the distances. Yeah. Like if you do that with the globe, you can. There's a legend on the globe. Right here, it says 1 inch is a certain number of miles. So you can take a tape measure, take a flexible tape measure. I have one here. Here we go. I borrowed this from my wife. One of these guys, right? And you can measure the distance between points with this flexible tape measure, right? And then apply the legend and then see what the globe says the distance is. So we have that for the globe, but that's not my point. My point is this isn't a scale legend like that. But it does say there are 60 nautical miles per degree latitude. So that tells us the geometry. So each degree latitude, starting at the North Pole on this, you go south 1 degree latitude, that's 60 nautical miles. Just keep on going, and that tells you how far it is all the way to 80 degrees south.
Okay.
That's just simple geometry. And what that does is that creates a polar coordinate system. Now, typically, polar coordinate systems are covered sometimes in high school geometry, or more likely in college geometry or algebra. Not everybody gets exposure to polar coordinate systems. So I get that some people are unfamiliar with it. That's fine. But you can translate between a polar coordinate system and XY, right? Cartesian coordinate system. And so we can use that to know the distance by applying the geometry that this map claims to compute the distance that the flat Earth predicts. At least that map predicts. And so I did both of them. I applied the math for both of them to see which one matched. I'll give you one guess which one matched. But I did test the ground. I measured the ground. And when I told this to flat earthers, and I said, well, what is the flat earth way to do this? How do we test the ground for flat earth? And they've never given me an answer. I try applying what the Gleason map says, and they're like, that's not my model.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your model?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing. What's the model? Now the biblical earth model, I can understand someone saying that, I'm not, the A map is not what I'm under biblical earth, which I've been teaching biblical cosmology for like 4.5 years. So I understand it, and I understand where people are coming from. But what we have to do kind of is we still have to test to test the claims and see exactly what the sun is doing, because God's not gonna he's not gonna deceive us. Like he's making the sun do something that it's doing, so that we could obviously. I'm filming from Punta Arenas, which one thing is crazy is people are getting so uptight about, but anybody can make that trip. It's $1,500 to go from California. If you're closer to Punta Arenas, it's going to be less expensive. The further away you are, it's going to be like maybe $1,800, $1,700. I mean,
Yeah.
You guys can make the trip and just go and see what the sun is doing. I mean, a lot of people do shows every single week for the last 10 years on flat Earth this whole time, right? So go and spend money on it and test it. And see, I was trying to go to Antarctica with you guys. Like if Witsit would have probably backed out, I probably would have been the one that would go. Like I want to find out for myself, I want to see. I don't want to just depend on people to tell me information all the time where I'm not testing it myself, So
Yeah.
I just think we should be doing this. I mean, I think a lot of the testing of the Earth and testing of the sun kind of came to a standstill, and everyone just relied on the information we already have and just say it's flat no matter what. Well, let's just go out there and let's test it. Let's go find it out. I mean, there shouldn't be a problem, and anybody that's a flat earther or a glober can go to Punta Arenas with us. I'll be there from the 19th till the 24th. Anybody could go and just come check it out. If you feel like there's any kind of deceitfulness or everybody's deceiving you, just go to Punta Arenas with us and come check it out. And there shouldn't be a problem with it. I think the main problem people have is that I'm going with Jaron, is what everybody's saying. So the reason why I'm going with Jaron, so I can explain this, Jaron was the one that made the claim. And I basically hit him up on Telegram and I said, dude, you made the claim. Let's go see if it's true. And he said, okay, let's go. So that's the whole reason why Jaron's going. I'm the one that contacted him. Nobody contacted me and said, hey, you guys should go on this trip to prove the Earth is a globe or flat. I got a hold of Jaron myself. I was in contact with him the whole time. I was friends with him during the time that he was, coming back from Antarctica, and everybody was treating him like the way they were treating him. And I was like, let's do it. He said, all right, let's go. So right away he said, let's do it. So I already knew that it must obviously probably do what he said it's going to do. If he's going to take the offer and just do it right away.
His actions match his words.
Yeah.
That's something that speaks a lot.
Yeah,
right?
It does. So he went to Edmonton, Canada with me already. We already did that trip. We'll go to Punta Arenas, handle that trip. He's brings all this equipment. I brought the equipment that I had, everything that I could bring, and we're ready to do some work. So people should be happy that we're getting more information. You guys probably did the sunrise sunset. I don't think that a lot of people. I didn't know that you guys had sunrise sunset in Punta Arenas. I thought that I did see the drone footage that Will Duffy had, but I didn't know that he had sunrise sunset there. That'd be cool to see that.
Yeah. Let's get if I'll check after we talk here tomorrow or something and see if I have it already. If I don't, then I'll we can get it from him. Because I know he did film it. He got both. He was super excited because not every day is clear skies. Yeah. And he's like, we were at, I don't know where I think we were eating. We're at a restaurant and he's like, we gotta go. The sun's setting and there's no clouds. We gotta go. So
that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it is when you're on a trip like this. You're literally you're going outside at 4:30 in the morning. You're trying to see, you can't really get the sunrise right now. It's too cloudy. So the good news is about my Edmonton trip is I have a friend that's out there he already got the sunset and he's going to get sunrise. He's just waiting for it to clear up. It keeps
was that Robbie or somebody else?
Yeah, it's Robbie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Robbie Davidson. Yeah. So people know Robbie Davidson put on the Flat Earth Conference from 17 was the first one, or 16 through 2019 or 2018. 2019, I don't know which one was the last one, but I went in 2018 to Dallas. And so I never met him in person. I was there, we were in the lobby, and he asked security to escort us out of the lobby. And so after TFE, this was funny. This was after TFE, and he's like, you know what? I trust Will. I trust everybody. Flat Earth isn't it. And And so I called him, or we had a conversation. I was in Florida on vacation, and I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, this is the guy that kicked me out of the conference. And I was a little like, how much do I didn't have a chip on my shoulder. And we talked, and he's a great guy. What a fun
nice guy, yeah.
I mean, we've had like 3-hour conversations.
Yeah. He's a very good talker. He could be a podcaster for sure, man.
Oh my goodness. Dude. Yeah.
I had Jaron, who's a podcaster that could talk for hours. Me, who's a podcaster, could talk for hours. Robbie Davidson, who could talk for hours. We had this guy Kevin there, super nice guy, and this guy Am there as well. And they were all just nice people, Like, I mean, I couldn't ask for nicer people, to hang out with. So Jaron as well. He's super down to earth, super nice. We got to kind of talk about our lives and like, our wives and our children and things, kind of get more personal than we would just online. So
yeah,
it was really awesome. Like I even had people hit me up on TikTok right now asking me not on TikTok, I'm sorry, on Telegram. They're asking me questions about Jaron, like personal questions, like how was he like this? Was he like all these questions that are like super ridiculous,
Yeah.
And I was like, it wasn't like that. He's just a normal guy like any of us, just he's got a wife, he's got kids. He was always talking to his wife, always talking to his kids like I was. We were in separate rooms, and we're family men, and yeah, he's a normal guy doing his thing just like I am. So
yeah,
nothing crazy about him.
So in Punta Arenas, the restaurants don't open till 8:00.
8:00
at night.
Okay.
So so that's the challenge if you're going to get sunset and go to a restaurant. The sunset's at like 9:30, so you've got a window, but they're not fast either. They don't get tipped, and so the servers don't care if they turn the table once or 5 times in a night. So they're not in a hurry.
Oh wow!
So having Max there might help because he can help guide a little bit to the people so that you can have a little more schedule.
Yeah, the day that I'm going to be filming the sun like for 17 hours, they'll probably have to bring me some to go. But once we get the footage that we want, then I'll have a little bit easier time.
So there are these 2 platforms just off of the water there, the waterfront. So do you know what hotel you're staying in?
Same one you guys stayed.
Okay, so right out the window, there's these platforms right out. So it's the hotel, the east-west road, and then like this walkway public area that they have all built up, the waterfront. And these platforms there. And so we did a bunch of things on that platform. And so that would probably be a really good place to do it because you have a clear view to the south and east and west. And then to the north is just the hotel. And the sun probably is high enough that it's not in the way, or there's one of them that's a little bit to the side. So the hotel might not be in the way. So that's a really good place to do it. There's railings. You could strap something to the railing.
That's nice. Yeah. I have I got like the two inverters that I think you told me to get, and someone else, Dave McKeegan told me some information on what I should get. So I got the power inverters, ones I could fly with, which is awesome.
The battery packs.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The battery packs that'll last. One of them lasts 12 hours. I already tested it. The other one lasts another 11 hours, which I'll be fine with both of them. So I want to do 17 hours only.
What kind of camera?
It's the 360.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
That camera Will sent me that camera. That's another thing people are going crazy about. So here's the thing. I knew that Will had to prepare for the trip for Antarctica, and he knows kind of like the layout and everything he had to do to kind of to set that trip up. So I emailed him and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this trip, going to Edmonton and going to Punta Arenas. And he said, well, you need to film the sunset, sunrise, and also the stars. And you need to do it with the 360 camera. And I already spent like $2,600 to do this trip. I already spent, the $600 to go to Edmonton. And then it's about $1,500 to go to Punta Arenas with hotels and everything, $2,600. And to be honest, my wife, she doesn't believe in flat earth. Like she never has. She's always believed in the globe. And she doesn't mind me spending money on these kind of trips. But I told Will, I was like, I don't really have the budget to like add another $500 to what I've spent already. And he said, don't worry about it. I'll send you one. I have 2 of them. I'll send you one. And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, Jaron has cameras already, so you got to do it with the 360. It's gonna work for you way better if you do the 360." So
Yeah.
he sent me the camera. Everybody, True Christian, Flat Earth Banjo, Vika, all these guys are flipping out because Will Duffy sent me the camera. Now it's a good deed for someone to send you a camera. Obviously, he's Christian, I'm Christian, and I was in need. He sent me the camera, so what's the big deal?
Yeah.
It's just somebody helping me out. So it's
It tells, I think it tells a lot about the heart of the people that are complaining about it.
it tells me a lot about them in general. Like for them to just the reaction that I got. I already knew that people were probably gonna be mad that I'm going with Jaron, but I don't really care because like I'm friends with him and we're just going on a trip was not a big deal. But the way that Flat Earth Banjo has came at me is literally like borderline like schizophrenic type stuff, like where he's making up like he's like, oh, this guy, he's a controlled opposition. He's an actor. He was never flat earther. He does
For
Bible
10 years.
studies. Yeah, so think about it. Think of the ego they have to have, MCToon, for me to be for the last 5 years. Literally,
Yeah.
I've been teaching the Bible. I've been doing all these studies and doing all this stuff and podcasts, like almost 600 or 700 episodes. So I've been doing all this work this whole entire time just to fake out a guy like Flat Earth Banjo. That's a big ego to think I would even do that. Like that's even in somebody's like personality to deceive all these people
Yeah.
for 4.5 years. Just to fake people out and bring people back to the globe. Like, oh my goodness, like it's literally borderline schizophrenic the way some of them have been acting to me. And it really shows that I'm not saying the whole entire Flat Earth community have cult-like behaviors, but people like Flat Earth Banjo, Vika, Sam, those guys have cult-like behaviors. They're mad that I'm hanging out with people, so they're trying to stop who I hang out with. They're trying to stop how I think. They're trying to make sure I only focus on flat earth only. Don't be doing other stuff. Like, don't be looking at this. Like, dude. And then I have Sam over here. He had me on the show and he tells me, I think it's very important to film the sky. It's very important for the flat earth. I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go film the sky. Not to go film the sky with Jaron. I'm like, I'm not just filming the sky with Jaron.
There.
I'm not just filming it with Jaron. I'm filming it for myself, bro. Like, I have a camera and the sky. That's all I got. It's like Jaron being there. It's not like he's going to be able to hold on. Let me just maneuver the sun to go the way that the globe wants it to go. That's not the way it works. Like,
No.
I'm just filming the sun. Like, no big deal. Like, it's not like they act like just because I'm with Jaron, then it changes the whole dynamic. And then they told me you shouldn't have announced that you were going. You should have just went. Like,
Why does that change anything?
why does that change it? I'm a podcaster. Like, I'm going to be upfront with my audience. I'm going to tell everybody that's on my Bible study, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this trip. I did put up a GoFundMe. Like, I raised about $1,050. And I'm like, I'm cool. Like, whatever I could raise. But they use that as, look at him trying to steal money from the flat earth community. There's people in Venezuela that have big earthquake. They're all dying. And this guy's trying to make money off flat earth. I'm like, bro, I don't even, first of all, on my show, I've never asked for money ever, okay? I do Bible studies. I don't ever say, hey, guys, I don't ask for, like, Patreon. Once in a while, I'll mention it, but I don't ask for it. Like, I'm not the type of guy that's here for money. I have a full-time job. I'm a disabled vet, so I get money from the government, every month from...
Oh, you're a NASA shill now.
Yeah. I do get money from the government, but it's because I'm disabled, bro, like from being in the military. I have money coming in. I don't need money from any flat earthers or anybody. I'm not that guy. I'm not on my show doing lives like, hey guys, give me the super chats. I need this. I'm going to do this. If I do this amount of content, you can give me more money. That's not me. So they got me wrong, dude. I'm just a regular guy that does Bible studies, that loves the Lord. And I'm a truth seeker. I've always said I was. And now I'm trying to seek the truth. And I'm getting, obviously the whole community is turning on me, which is okay. Justin Johnson, Vika, Flat Earth Bozo, Banjo, all those guys. You guys could continue to be slandering people and lying, and that's that you could do what you do, but you will be judged for everything you say. I'm a child of God, and I've always taught the Bible, the Word of God, and I know that you guys will all be judged for what you guys say, for sure. But go ahead.
So what did the Pharisees say to Jesus about who he was hanging out with?
I know. Exactly. The Pharisees would say, oh, you can't be hanging out with the tax collector. You can't be hanging out with the sinners. And what does Jesus do? He hangs out with the sinners. Do you know why he's hanging out with the sinners? Because those are the people that need the help. You know what I mean? I'm hanging out with Jaron, not saying that he's the sinner. Obviously, he has said stuff about Jesus in the past, which is a long time ago. He has said things, but like he believes in a God. I don't think he believes in the God of the Bible yet, but I could plant seeds as much as I can. But you guys aren't helping the situation by treating Jaron the way you're treating him.
Yeah.
Because all the Christians are coming at him like literally the same way they're coming at me, and it doesn't help the situation, guys. We're trying to get people saved here. That's the whole point of being a Christian, is to imitate Christ and lead people to the Lord. That's it. Your job is not to, I need to make sure that John F. Kennedy and Epstein are not the same person. That's not what you do as a Christian. What you're trying to do is you're trying to lead people to the Lord. And they get mad at me also. Do you go by MCToon or MCToon?
You can call me Mike.
Mike. Okay,
Mike is fine.
They also get mad that I was on the show with Max and I'm being nice to Max and then Max is being nice to me. They don't like that. They want to see division, and they want to see people fighting, and they want to see me and you fighting every single time we talk to each other. But the thing is, bro, when you're nice to people, they reciprocate niceness back, and that's the way it works. When you're evil to somebody, or you're using piss and vinegar with people, you don't get anywhere. If you use honey, you can attract more people easily. You be nice to people, you can attract more people, and that's the way it works. And the way Jesus was, do you see Jesus when he sees that Samaritan woman sitting there at the well, where he's not supposed to speak to her? What did he do? He went and sat down next to her, talked to her, treated her nicely. That's how you attract people to the faith. You don't attract people to the faith by jumping on TikTok and fighting with people for 17 hours straight about the earth. Like, that's fine. You can defend the creation. I understand it. But the thing is, God wants us to, he wants us to go through the whole Bible verse by verse for people and teach people. And we need to lead people to the Lord. I know you might have some listeners that are Christian, a lot of listeners that are probably Christian as well. But my point is me speaking to these Christians out there that need to hear this. You guys need to hear this. It's not a bad thing for me and Mike to be talking right now, cordially, and speaking about this trip or speaking about anything. He's a Christian, I'm a Christian, and we're both brothers in Christ. We could speak. If I have a different belief than him, it doesn't mean that he's a satanic devil worshiper. That's a shield, NASA. No, it just means he has a different belief.
Wait, whose accent are you doing there?
I'm trying to do Flat Earth Banjo. This guy has been... Dude, he had 6 episodes straight of him. He's got like all these AI pictures of me where I'm like bowing down to the globe.
Oh, I haven't even watched any. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, my goodness, dude. So all I say to that stuff is just, you gotta just take a step back, and like later on, you should probably look back at what you just said about me and just realize that it's like the worst. It's the worst that you could be, dude, to somebody.
Banjo, before we went, Banjo was saying, this is my favorite. He said that there's going to be a sun simulator on a moving
I was
truck,
watching him during that time.
yeah. and it's gonna move around in circles around us. And I'm like, hold on a second. How far away would the truck need to be for us not to notice the truck? Let's just say 2 miles. You could see a truck 2 miles away, but let's be generous and say it's 2 miles. And so then I just triangulated how high the sun, the fake sun would have to be on this truck in order to appear at the angle, because it was 34 degrees high at noon, local solar noon. It would have to be a tower on a moving platform taller than the IDS tower in Minneapolis.
And moving
and changing elevation, because then 12 hours later it has to be south and it has to be lower. So it's ratcheting lower. Up and down.
So let me ask you this. So that's another thing that I noticed that the sun was doing when I was in Edmonton. So if I was to walk let's say if I was able to drive to Edmonton and it was possible, straight to the North Pole, I'm going to slightly see it raising up. Like it's going to be basically having that angle, and then like once you get to if I was able to drive to the North Pole,
yeah,
as I'm driving, that angle is going to turn into just going straight over your head like this if you're at the North Pole,
yeah,
for example. Okay, so that's what I was noticing that as well. There's things that I'm learning, man. When you guys were debating like back in the day, there's a few things that you guys could have probably mentioned. Probably the right to left sunrise and left to right would have probably been a good debating tool. I think people are using it right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of hard to explain. Like I said, I'm happy that people are out there like Joe Hanvey, and I know that you guys probably think it's ridiculous what he's doing, but I do believe that I'm happy that he's trying. And Shane St. Pierre and those guys, they're at least trying. I know that they're putting like kind of like a globe sky on a flat Earth. I think that's kind of what's happening. I'm not saying Joe Hanvey's doing that.
Well, I'm a programmer. I've looked at the code that Shane has, and it internally computes the Earth as a globe. But to try to sneak his way out of it, he didn't use a globe of radius 6,371 kilometers. He used a globe of radius 1 unit, and then just figured out all the angles from that, and then took that globe and warped it to a flat surface. But internally it was all a globe.
Yeah.
That's not a flat Earth model. That's a globe model that you're just projecting onto a flat surface.
But the sun looks like it's still doing what we would say on an A map on his model, right?
It does, but when you look at it, it's the same map, right? And
Yeah.
but when you're in Punta Arenas and looking at, let's say, stars, because you're going to see the stars, you're going to see Crux, and Crux at some point of the day, according to this map, goes around the entire perimeter. So you'll be here looking south.
Yeah.
Right? When Crux is here.
Okay.
So you don't even need to go to Antarctica. You can just look at Crux. Well, a constellation I'd never seen before, but it's very clear in the sky.
Yeah.
And at some point of the night, it's due south of you. I mean, it's always south of you, but at some point of the night, it's going to be here, according to this map. So on Shane's model, when the stars are here, how do you see the light coming from that direction, right? It's coming from the south.
Yeah.
And this here, well, then the light has to take a path somehow curving way around and then come back up from the south. What causes it to bend? And there's no explanation for what's causing it to bend.
Yeah. So we did a measurement of the ground in Edmonton. We did like it was like an east-west portion.
Oh.
Just to measure. We measured the ground as well, just to kind of see if it matched up what it would be like in Google Earth, right? Like if we just measured that out, just to see if it matched. And then when we go down south, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna probably measure that east-west road that you guys probably already measured already, just to kind of get that measurement.
That's how you do science.
Just to see
you repeat
that.
it.
And then so basically we're testing the globe claims here, like the flat Earth claims. I think that we have an issue with the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, which, like I said, man, I believe that you guys went there. I believe that it's true, and people, they don't like that I say that, but I do believe it's true. I had two people on my show. One guy that is he installs garage doors, right? And he was contracted. He has one of the biggest garage door companies in Orange County. One of my flat Earth friends said, you got to have this guy on your show. He's been contracted by McMurdo Station to go do garage door work. He goes out there and
I think I saw, yeah.
Yeah, so he deploys. So I was like, okay, he has no skin in the game. He's not like a globe proponent or a flat Earth proponent. He's just a normal guy. I had him on my show. I didn't tell him I was a flat earther at all. I just said, hey, come on my show. I have some few questions for you. No problem, Josh. He's a Christian as well. He told me that he was fishing at like from 1 o'clock in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like the sun was out. He's like, bro, the sun is 24 hours. He's like, 100%. I'm telling you, bro, it's 100%. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, at least I have the information from you. We have the information from TFE. I have another guy that was on my show, MCToon, or sorry, Mike, and he was just talking to me about healing. Like he's a pastor. He talks about healing. He heals people, right? Like he assists people with healing. So I'm like, all right. And I look behind him, and behind him there's a picture of him with penguins. And the whole show, I'm itching to ask him this question, but I was like, I don't want to ruin the interview. Like he's not talking about Antarctica or the shape of the Earth. Don't ruin the interview. Just ask him at the very end. So I waited very patiently, and I was looking at the picture, and I was just like, what's that picture back there? He's like, oh, I always travel the Earth. I went to Antarctica. I was like, when? He's like, oh, in December. I was like, oh, December. Okay, cool. Perfect. Is there a 24-hour sun, in Antarctica? I asked him as well. He said there's like, it was 23 hours, but I went behind a mountain for like 45 minutes. That's what he said. So, which is still doing 24 hours. But the thing, oh, I hear fireworks going off already. The thing is, it just the sun just dipped behind the mountain. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
it didn't
setting.
set. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't.
that's what he told me.
It doesn't fix the flat Earth.
So we
claim.
got two. I got two witnesses that are both Christians that are telling me that there's a 24-hour sun. We got you guys filming the sun. So that's three people so far for me in my personal life that have told me that there's a 24-hour sun. We have Jaron telling me, you saying, Witsit, MCToon. There's people that do the marathon that would say there's a 24-hour sun. So
I interviewed the organizer. That's on my Conspiracy Tunes channel. He does 2 marathons in Antarctica every year and 1 at the North Pole every year.
Okay.
So some flat earthers also claim that there's a magic mountain at the North Pole. It's just ice. They actually set up the marathon around the actual geographic South Pole, right? They do several laps around it. There's no pole there, right? It's just a spot. So they use a GPS to measure exactly where it is. But they just go around a circle.
You had him on the show. He's the one that runs the whole thing?
I interviewed him in the lobby in Punta Arenas.
Oh, okay. Do you have a clip of that on your show? It's on.
It's on my Conspiracy Tunes channel.
Okay, I'll check it out. I like to see that.
The thumbnail. He's got his beard is all covered in icicles and stuff.
Okay.
He said Antarctica because of where they go is pretty nice because it's in these mountains, and so it's not a ton of wind. He said the North Pole is terrible, super windy, and there's no blocking. There's no mountains anywhere nearby to block the wind, so it's just constant brutal wind. So they're
doing marathons there. Wow, those people.
There's 2 ways that these marathons happen. One is a plane comes, and the other is a ship comes and it does an ice breaking. There's more than one marathon there. He does one of them. And the one he does, they fly in. So they fly in, people do it, they get on the plane and they fly out. So they're not there for long.
But still, they're able to. And is that what is that? Is that looking like 10,000, 15,000 like Antarctica, or is that a lot less expensive? Do you know?
I don't know the cost of that one.
I wonder.
The one in Antarctica for the marathon is 22,000.
Okay.
23,000 right in there. You still need all the extra gear. You got to travel there. You got to buy all the gear. So there's that extra maybe 2,000 to 3,000 to get there and have all the gear.
And you got to be in shape too, ready to
run a marathon. And in
Antarctica. Yeah.
Now, when we were there, the weather was really nice, and they said, the weather had not been that nice until basically the day we got there. They're like, "Wow, this is super nice weather now."
What's the elevation there, though? Isn't it like
it? I think it was only around 2,000 where we were at.
Oh, okay.
Now it wasn't terrible, because we weren't on the plateau. We could the mountains. You could see to the south and to the hold on, that's the north. To the west, there's where the glacier comes down the mountain from the plateau, and where the landing strip is. And so we could look off, and it was pretty distant, but we could see the glaciers where they're coming down, and then up there is the plateau, and they're like, "Yep, you get up there, and then you just." It's the plateau. It's pretty big.
All right.
Pretty high.
So basically after the TFE, after everything, I'm kind of just like everybody was like flipping out about that. I was watching all the shows. I mean, I watched the Vika. I was watching Flat Earth Banjo. I was watching Flatzoid. I was watching all these guys. Sov. I was watching to see like if anybody's going to come up with any idea of how we can have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I didn't really see too many answers for that. I saw a lot of like denial. There's no way. It didn't happen. It's fake and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, so let me just try to search anybody else, any other flat earthers. I didn't really find too good of info. So really the trip that I'm going to do now would be, it'd be great evidence, to know exactly what the sun's doing. Is it going to be like concrete, like, oh, it's flat or globe? I don't think it's concrete, but I think it's good evidence for us to at least work something out and see what the see what model somebody could come up with to see. But I mean, I think that the Australia, the South Africa, the Punta Arenas all kind of facing this direction towards a landmass. We got to see what the sun's doing out there. I think it's important. And if for someone to say it's not important or you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, then I don't understand. Like, what's the point? What's wrong with doing that? With searching out the truth, right, and see what the sun's doing.
Yeah.
No problem with it. So I'm very excited. I'm happy about it. I'm ready to do this.
All right. There's a few people that would like to come on, I think, and I'm gonna.
Okay.
If other people want to, shoot me a DM on Discord, but I'll send a couple. And I see a few fun people that I haven't seen in a while in the live chat. We got Mallory. I don't know if you know who Mallory is. She's a Canadian sort of flat earther. She's very funny.
Okay.
And she likes furries.
Okay.
So,
and she's sort of a flat earther. Is she kind of in the middle?
I think it's all comedy. That's what I take. And then Culture Cats, he had
him.
Yeah. He's in the chat right here too. So
yeah, he's a nice guy too. He was cool. He was very open to debating, and he was very cordial as well. It was like a really nice debate.
He's the nicest person in the world, man. He's so polite.
Yes, he is. Awesome guy.
All right,
Al
so
is his name.
Yeah, I sent the Zoom link to Max and others in a group chat. So if anybody else wants to come in, then we can have a few other people. We don't want to have too many. I see Spin. You talked to him before, right?
We didn't get to talk. I was in the chat though when he was kind of breaking down the video that I think, what were you guys breaking down? You guys were breaking down one of the Vika videos, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I was there when you originally did the interview with Max.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. How you been?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Just like I said, we just got back from Edmonton, Canada on the 22nd. Came back and it was a good trip. I left my camera with Robbie so that he can kind of get sunset, sunrise. I believe I got star rotations. I don't know yet until I get the camera back and I can actually look at the footage. Because clouds did roll in as I was filming, and also, like I said, the twilight. It's very hard to even see the stars. It's not like you get it's not like it is here in California at all. So
right.
Yeah, I think it's better to do that in December in Edmonton. But I have a few podcasters as well that live about an hour away from Edmonton, or 2 hours away, I think, and he can get the stars for me as well in case I didn't get it. So I have some few people that could do that, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, the main goal though was to just observe the direction. Is that what you guys were really?
That was my goal. I wanted to see if the sun rose in the northeast, came towards me, and set in the northwest, because that's what Jaron told me happens when you're in Punta Arenas in December. When you guys were out there, that's what he said the direction of the sun was when you're in Punta Arenas, but you're looking south and it rises in the southeast, comes towards you over your head, and then it sets in the southwest. So I was looking for symmetry, if it's symmetrical. I'm also looking for the movement of the sun compared to how the sun's supposed to be moving on a flat earth, if it's setting right to left in the north or in the south, anywhere in the south, if it's setting right to left, anywhere in the north, it's setting left to right. And then if you're like on the equator, it's going straight over your head. That's I would like to see how that's explained on a flat earth as well. That's kind of interesting to me. I also mentioned that to some of my buddies that I've done podcasts with in the past that are flat earthers, and they said they didn't know that. A lot of them live in the north, right? So they didn't know that the sun sets right to left in the south, anywhere in the south. So It's important to see that kind of stuff. So go ahead.
I think Max may have mentioned at some point, maybe during your interview, him and I did a kind of a what do you call it, collaborative sort of project that we did where he was in Uruguay on the solstice
equinox
and equinox, excuse me, and where where he was looking north and I was looking south, and sort of the same concept, right? Like that it doesn't make sense on a flat Earth for it to be setting in an arc going right to left and then going left to right. You know, where if I'm looking south, it's going left to right. If he's looking north, it's going right to left. So that's sort of the same idea.
So the same exact sunrise at the same time. Basically, kind of at the same time, but the same day. You're looking at your sunrise. You're looking at your sunset. He's looking at his sunset at the same exact time. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's good information to have. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. We need to dude, if we had a bunch of people all at once doing these kind of things, I think it's very important for this community, for all the communities, the flat Earth community and the globe community, for people to be doing this. But what's up, Max? How's it going, bro?
Hello. I'm fantastic. My ticket is purchased. I'm ecstatic.
Ready to
I'm
go.
so happy. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw that you purchased.
I didn't mention yet, there's a small chance that I'm going to Antarctica.
Okay. What?
So I've had since we went and some flatties were claiming that it was faked, I said, well, fine, let's do it. I'll put 100,000 in escrow and you put 100,000 in escrow. We both go on the same trip. You pay your way, I pay my way. And if the sun sets, you get my 100,000. And if the sun circles 24 hours a day, I get your 100,000. Easy for me, because I've already been there and I know what happens, right? That's a guarantee. That's not gambling. That's a guaranteed $100,000 in my pocket. And some guy has said that he wants to do it. And I was completely baffled that somebody would actually want to just give me $100,000, but I'll take it. So, but I got to put together like all the documents and the plan and figure out who's going to hold the escrow and stuff like that. So, anyway, that's the outlier possibility that I might be there.
Wow.
Nice.
Anyway,
So hold on. So
escrow tone.
So you would go to Antarctica and you would go to Punta Arenas and then you would continue on to Antarctica in this scenario?
Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah. So the trip is December 14 to 18. So we would get back about when you're arriving. And so then I would probably
19th.
just not leave right away.
Yeah, I'll be there
I see.
19th to the 24th, or the 23rd. I'm sorry. I leave the 23rd, come back the 24th at 6 a.m. And it's another thing. You guys, for me from California, it's a 17-hour flight. So I'm traveling for 17 hours to get there. And immediately, probably when I get there, I'm going to try to be filming it as soon as possible. As long as I got good sun and everything, we could film. So like I said, it's not like it's work. It's not like, oh, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to go see Max and Jaron and we're going to be hanging out at next to the pool. Like I'm going to be working the whole time trying to get as much footage as I can get. So
the pool there sucks.
Work.
The pool is terrible. Do not swim in that pool.
Freezing, you know. I'm not even.
No, it's dirty and gross.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, wow. Nobody was in it the whole time. That's a tiny little pool.
Okay.
And not gonna be in there were a few people in the Straits of Magellan there, but it's pretty cold.
Oh, I'm definitely diving in the strait.
Oh my gosh, Max, I need video of that.
No, I mean, I always get in the water wherever.
He always waits until you go live.
I have a cat too, but it's not like that. It's so chill, dude. No, my cat is straight chill.
This one is insane.
Yeah, it just jumped at you.
Raised in the wild.
You gotta get your cat a treat, bro. If you get it a treat, it'll love you.
He gets everything. He just likes biting.
Yeah. If I pet my cat for too long, it gets a little weird like that. But if you're not petting it, it doesn't bite you. As long as you don't pet it a lot.
Are you bleeding?
A little bit.
Oh my gosh. What do you do with what are you gonna do with your cat when you're in Punta?
I will probably hire a cat sitter. They go to your house once a day. Feed it,
all right.
Scoop up the poops.
Get scratched. Get bit.
After they watch this footage, they're probably not going to be watching the cat after this, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. As long as they feed it, they don't even have to pet it. Just say hi to the cat, put full
and run away.
And that's it.
Is that your equipment back there, or like
yeah.
Is that? Oh, okay. That's what you're talking about. You make beats and everything on there.
Yep.
Yeah, I see your microphone there. I see all right, you got Pro Tools, everything.
That's just a green screen. Don't be fooled.
Ableton.
Is it a
Well,
green screen?
Yes, because the camera is looking this way and the picture is taken that way.
Okay. But that's your equipment though. That's what you have.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
this is where the room I'm sitting in right now.
Nice.
In the biz, we call that CGI.
You got your DJ equipment there too.
Yeah, got vinyl decks.
Nice, bro. Well, well, maybe in the future, man, if you make some beat, I can do some music on it or something. It's been a long time, but I'll do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Jard said, JPRD.
The Jord.
I don't know. The Jord. I don't think I've met you before.
Yeah. No, sir. I do not believe we've ever had the pleasure. Maybe in chat if you've been around chat, but I'm not usually on a panel or nothing. I'm just
cool.
Anytime
nice
I see MCToon has a live panel, I'd like to hop on and give them hell. Nice to meet you as well, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Toon, I had a question to ask you. I know you're like not really a current events channel, but did you hear about there's a pretty interesting legal thing happening. The lawyer who got sued by his work bag. Did you hear about this? Have you heard about this?
By his work bag.
Yeah, by his work bag.
No.
It was a briefcase, but it was pretty interesting.
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious.
I didn't get it.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
A briefcase?
Oh.
It was a briefcase.
Oh.
Yeah, only Americans get it. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's so bad you don't want to get it.
Yeah, it's better if not explained because it wasn't good in the first place.
So one thing that really I loved it because I was like, oh, Sam, you get me. One of the things that Sam asked Josh was, why are you going with that degenerate? And obviously that degenerate is me. And I was like, oh, Sam, you get me. I love that. Thank you so much.
I gotta tell you, I mean, even watching y'all's interview, it really kind of floored me. I didn't realize. I mean, I know it's Sam, but I didn't expect him to really go that hard in the paint, I guess. He really didn't conceal his hand, I guess. What I mean. Yeah,
he was basically he sent the information to Flat Earth Banjo and said, I saw the information that he sent to him because Flat Earth Banjo was actually showing it on screen. And since I interviewed with Max, what he did is he sent messages to Flat Earth Banjo that we got another shill. This guy's this, he's that. He said all this information about me. So I sent a message to him via Instagram. I said, hey, bro, like, why would you backstab me like that and say all this information? Why don't you have me on your show so we could discuss this? And he said, yeah, come on my show. We could discuss this. And we kind of we were like on like a neutral ground in the beginning. But towards the end, I wanted to show him through his Torah that he's literally breaking the laws of the Torah by doing what he's doing, you know, like, because he's slandering somebody, you know, which is bad. He's bearing false witness, which is the 9th commandment, which is bad. I wanted to like show him that towards the end of the show, and that you're basically taking the law of God and you're putting flat earth in front of that, which you shouldn't do because that's called an idol. So you need to take that. You need to take the flat earth and bring that to the back and put the laws in front of that so that you're following the laws that you're supposedly supposed to be following. He's Jewish. He's an Israelite. He's claiming that he needs to follow the laws. That's what he's supposed to do. He follows the Sabbath. He said he follows as many laws as he could follow through the Bible. So for you to, and I asked him a specific question. I said, would you ever put the law of God, would you put flat earth in front of that? And he said, no, I wouldn't. I said, okay, well, let me show you how you just did. And I explained to him, that's why I was trying to explain to him what he was doing wrong via Leviticus, via Exodus, through the Old Testament, through the Torah. And he changed the subject immediately, as you noticed. He didn't want any part of that because now I'm showing him because God knows that I'm not lying and God knows I'm not a shill. So obviously that would be slander because he's bearing false witness. He's creating and he's also creating a story that would harm others because I do have people threatening me now that are saying that they want to beat me up, whatever. Right. They're not gonna ever probably see me. I'm in Southern California, you know, and But if they did see me,
I don't know.
they
Look at those guns. That's not there. That's not happening.
well, yeah, and then I also saw Flat Earth Banjo make some beta alpha video where he had this guy Kevin as the alpha and me as the beta, and I was like, Flat Earth Banjo, if me and you were in a room together, who would be the alpha and who would be the beta? Honestly, like I was Soldier of the Year in the United States Army for as a NCO of the Year, like for my battalion, for my brigade. I was going against Army Rangers. I've deployed. I've done military. I've worked out for like 10 years straight. So I'm like, I don't know who would be a beta in the room if it was me and Flat Earth Banjo. I don't know. I'm not trying to say anything bad, but I was very interested in that.
It's a big talk from him. That's all.
Yeah, he's what he's trying to do is he's trying to make it so that his audience doesn't listen to any of the information that I find in Punta Arenas. That's all he's trying to do. He's trying to discredit me before the trip so that anything I do find they can claim is fake, or they could claim you shouldn't listen to that guy. That guy is hanging out with Jaren. He's a bad guy. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy talk, like borderline schizophrenic talk, to be honest.
Please tell me the Kevin you're talking about is not Cubala Kevin.
No.
The Kevin,
he's Canadian.
the Kevin that I'm talking about is a guy that goes to pastors after they do their sermons, and he films him talking to the pastor. Like he has to film it, right? And tell him like biblical cosmology is real. What do you think about this? Now, I would say this, like, I don't think that you should be filming that type of conversation. You should probably be talking to the pastor with another Christian with you. That's what you do as a Christian. You have a witness with you and go speak to the pastor. If you feel like he's in error, you bring another Christian with you. You don't film it and you speak to that pastor. If you feel like he's in error, you discuss it as men. You don't film it and try to make the maybe he hasn't studied the shape of the earth, or he doesn't study biblical cosmology. You basically just come with another brother that in Christ that's in agreement with you, and then you speak to that pastor. That's the right way to do it as a Christian. You don't film it for TikTok and make the guy stutter and they go, I got you. Like that's not what you do. That's not the way that you should handle that situation as a Christian, like a true Christian. You don't do that. So it is what it is.
Yes,
I saw those. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I felt like I saw a lot of similarities with Jaren last year before they went, and I'm sure that you guys had similar talks while you guys were on your trip.
We had a lot of talks. Yeah,
it was even more, man. I mean, I even pitched this, I think, to Toon and Max maybe in the same breath, but I was like, did you guys really expect it to be this bad? I mean, they're not going to Antarctica, right? Like that was my thought. I'm like, they're not even going to Antarctica. What's the big deal? Like they're going to Punta Arenas, somewhere we know exists, right? Like, and they both were like, nah, yeah, this is definitely what was going to happen. Like, and kind of in our close circles. So I'm not trying to put pressure on that subject, but it was just kind of a thought that I had, like, oh man, I'm sure that Jaren and you probably had a couple of heart-to-hearts, I guess, about that whole situation.
we did. We actually sat and watched some of Flat Earth Banjo's material to see what he was saying and how ridiculous it is from my position as a Bible teacher, literally going verse by verse through the whole entire Bible the last year and a half for my audience, taking a hit on my views and everything. Like my views went from like 500 to 600 to 800 to 1,000 to 5,000 sometimes, down to like 40 or 50 because I went from doing conspiracies and just lightly putting Bible into it to just going straight Bible. So from a person like me, I'm not chasing views or chasing content. Like Flat Earth Banjo, what he's doing right now is he has a subject in mind now. Josh Monday is now this actor or whatever he says. And now he's chasing views and he's creating content and he's creating lies about me. And from a Christian point of view, when you're doing that, you're slandering another brother in Christ, first of all. And also what you're doing is the people that listen to my Bible studies that need the word of God right now, because maybe they're struggling with pornography, drug addiction, anything. They need the word of God right now. It's helping them out. I have people that hit me up. They DM me like, hey, your Bible studies are getting me away from drugs, getting me away from alcohol, getting away from domestic violence, getting me away from scenarios that I've been in. So it's helping people. So when you go out and you slander someone like me, now you got people that are flat earthers that maybe were listening to my Bible study and it was helping them out, thinking that I'm some evil guy now. So what it's doing is it's doing way more harm than good. for him to do that, you know. And there's a guy that I know particularly that was he during COVID, he was listening to Bible studies and he was going to church and he was going to the gym, and it was keeping them off of doing opium, right? Heroin. And all of a sudden when COVID happened and the churches shut down and the gym shut down, he ended up, you know, going back to his old ways, and he ended up dying. So all I'm saying is, I know that not everybody on this panel believes that the word of God helps people, but all I'm saying is that they could literally be leading people astray just by the placing the shape of the earth in front of all the other things that the Bible teaches. Like, I don't believe we should do that. We should it's not, as you go through the whole entire Bible verse by verse like I've been doing, I'm noticing that it's not like all about just that, you know. Like Genesis is important, of course, like it gives all glory to God. The creation is important. But there's like so many chapters in the Bible after that is teaching you different values and things that you need to be as a Christian. And if you're not implementing those values and you're putting flat earth in front of that, I think that's a problem. And that's what I see is happening with some of the Christians out there. They will be very quick to just slander somebody, call somebody a liar, call them an actor, a shill, or some made up story. And I just think there's a problem there, you know. That makes sense.
There's a history of that in Flat Earth, going back at least to Lady Blunt at the turn of the century, between from 1800s to 1900. That she wrote a series of monthly or bi-monthly like journals, and she, it seemed, held the position that if you didn't believe in flat Earth, that you're not a Christian. And she's not the only one. There's actually a page on the Flat Earth Wiki that has a list of different flat earthers that have said things to that effect. So it has, for them, become their religion.
Yep.
Yeah. It could become an idol for some, and I've said that before. The reason, and an idol can be good and can be bad, but it says not to have idols. And the reason why I would say that it's an idol is because of that fact that you're placing all your Christian values that you're supposed to be implementing, and you're placing the shape of the earth in front of that, and you're going to go against all the Christian values that we're taught just to defend this flat earth. And also you see people that are Christian flat earthers that are doing flat earth every single week, like it's flat earth, flat earth, flat earth, flat earth. And they're going away from teaching the whole entire Bible to their audience. So there's so many things that they could be teaching their audience, which would benefit them a lot more. But instead, every single episode is flat earth or Satan's little season or flat earth, like every single week I noticed. And you guys can do whatever you want. I'm not going to judge anybody for that, but there's so many good things that could come out of you teaching the whole entire Bible to them, instead of just teaching just that only every week, you know? And yeah, that's just kind of my take.
Yep.
All right.
Totally with you.
We got a couple messages from the audience here. Jim Daniels says, made the trip around the sun with MCToon. Hip yeah. So that's it's a member super chat. Must be, I missed what it was, but I think must be a 12
months, yeah.
12 months or a multiple of 12 months. Thank you so much for that, Jim. Hockerman says, g'day, mate. 5 months. Cool. Hey, Max.
Hello.
Jack Fetter. So, Josh, if you don't know, there's an hold on. The animation. Hold on. Let me watch the animation, how it went. There we go. That was pretty good. I've been trying to get that right. There's a guy in the chat, Dick Wayne, who's always in here trolling, flat earther, who's impervious to evidence. He says that he wants evidence, but hates it when you actually show it. Anyway, people get tired of him because he's just a broken record. And Jack Fetter says, for $50. Why is Dick Wayne back? I assumed de-wrenching him would be enough, but maybe a full ban is in order. $50 towards a dick-free experience here. Time to go, Dicky Poo. You've worn out your welcome. # no dick. And then Jim Daniels, for also $50, just # no dick is trending on MCToon Live. On Tori Hanzo for 20 secs, which Swedish kroners says hashtag no diggy poo. And then we've got one more from Jack Fetter. Is going after you, Icy Spin. Says we all wanted a dick free zone here, but Icy Spin said no. It seems Icy
Oh, did
Spin.
I make you some money?
Yeah, you did. There you go. You can.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
all right.
Tripper. Good on you.
I've written it
Josh,
down. I got the list.
What's up, Icy Spin? What's up, bro?
Our friend Jack Fetter, he has a smoke detector that he hasn't really been. He's responsible. He's a responsible male. He's got a lot going for him, but he's let this smoke detector do a chirp. And I'm sure you're familiar with the idea of like labor as you get closer to delivering, right? It's more and more frequent. It's literally like every 10 seconds this chirp goes off when he's got the mic on.
I have a high ceiling in my house, and there's a smoke detector that I could not get to. And I did episodes where people were complaining in the comment section of my video or my YouTube and also my Spotify. You got to fix that smoke detector. So I had to get a ladder that was like 25 feet high to try to get this smoke detector, and I finally got it. I literally just took it off the wall and I snipped it. I didn't even want that thing. I never wanted that thing to chirp again. So yeah, I understand it. It's really annoying for the audience, and if you're a podcaster, that is not good. So that thing was going off, and I could not get it until I got a ladder that was high enough. So I understand about that for sure.
I am very triggered by that kind of noise. It's the one thing that just my brain does a 180.
You know that's part of who Jack Fetter is, though.
I know.
It's endearing.
I always say that when the chirper is gone, we're going to miss the chirp, and I will get a chirp sound effect to make up for it. But
Steel
if
City
I had
has a
anything
powerful
like that,
one.
I would grab whatever and just like, oh no, you're out of here, buddy.
Like one of the funniest things of all time is when we're on a panel of Maxes, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I hear clickety clack, someone typing in the keyboard, and I'm like, oh boy, I sit back and just wait. I'm like, Max hasn't heard it yet, but this is gonna get ugly if someone doesn't shape up quick. And sure enough,
we're like, let me look this up. All fast.
Keyboard.
Yes, people type in my ears. It's not nice.
Yeah.
So any questions from the audience at all?
Yeah, if anybody has any other questions, you can tag if you tag me, either MCToon or Conspiracy Tunes. If you tag Conspiracy Tunes, it'll show up here highlighted, and it comes into the program I wrote so I could capture it and put it up on screen. Like, for example, Eric Burns tagged me, and so and it goes right over Icy Spin's face. He says, I DM'd you some astrophotography I just did tonight. So Eric Burns is he was studying, he's working on his PhD in astrophysics, but decided to become a teacher. So now he's a teacher in, he teaches astronomy at a high school in Florida.
I had Jason Lyle on. I don't know if do you know him? Mike,
is he?
He's like a young Earth creationist, but he's an astrophysicist.
Yeah, I find that a little. I see a little bit of a disconnect there, but I'm familiar with him. He debates
Hugh Ross, and he's debated Hugh Ross before, and
okay,
had some. Yeah, so he was really interesting. He was telling me a few things too, like about the North and the South, and what I should be looking for as well. So I just kind of wanted to get some ideas from him. You know. That's his.
I got a I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
No, go ahead.
Do you mind if I ask Lael's question? Lael sent me a private question. It's a good question. He was wondering, Josh, if you did a measurement of longitude while you were in Edmonton, and if you plan to do the same in Punta Arenas to see if
we did. We measured from we have the street name down and everything, and we measured about 2,600 feet. So we measured 2,600 feet in Edmonton, and then we're gonna do the same when we're down in Punta Arenas.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Yep, just to see if the measurements match, because on a flat Earth, obviously it's gonna spread out. The south is gonna spread out further. So we wanted to measure, when we get to Punta Arenas as well. Probably that east-west strip that that Mike was talking about that he did. We'll probably do that same thing. I know you guys already did it, but we're gonna do it as well. Just to
Well,
confirm.
it shows that when you repeat an experiment, that's one of the things about science that's vital, is that you can repeat an experiment. So it doesn't have to be in the exact same spot, but if it is, even better, because a lot of the time you'll see people say, "Well, I don't believe you." Right? Well, what if I think you're lying about it? Well, somebody else go do it. Right. And my answer to that is always, well, you can go do it. If you think that I was lying or that somebody else was lying about some experiment they did, the door is open. You can go do it too.
Yeah, that's the whole reason. Like the Punta Arenas is important because you guys were there, and that's somewhere that I've asked flat earthers that don't believe you went to Antarctica. Do you believe they at least went to Punta Arenas? And some of them, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I mean,
You can go.
most of them say yes.
There's
believe
no
you went to
magic.
Punta Arenas at least. So if you guys have been to Punta Arenas, obviously it'd be very hard. I could probably save to go to Antarctica probably in the next 5 years, but Punta Arenas is somewhere that I could actually go this year, and I already paid for the ticket, so it's not something I need to save for a long period of time to go to. So I think Punta Arenas is a good spot to go to because you're looking dead south, and seeing certain things about the sun that we're gonna see is going to be, it's hard to explain like on a flat earth, if it's rising in the southeast coming towards us and setting in the southwest. If it goes to Australia after that, and then to also South Africa after that, which I need that contact info from that gentleman if you can, Mike, because I want to see if they could maybe like either like live stream or maybe like do a Zoom with me, not a Zoom, but a FaceTime maybe, and they could just show me the sun. Okay, cool. Now I know it's in South Africa now. I have a friend that's in Australia that's also hit. He's just he does believe in a globe, but he's not like in this debate circle. He's just a guy that I know that's in Australia. I know that Angels of Light also I think is in Australia. I don't know if he would be willing to do the same. Probably wouldn't.
Good luck.
Yeah, I just want to see. Okay, it's 12 o'clock, like 10 o'clock p.m. and Punta Arenas is 12 o'clock p.m. in Australia. So the sun's supposed to be over their head. I also want to see what time it would be in Punta Arenas when the sun is in South Africa. Now it's coming around. So that would also prove that it's circling, right? That's another thing that's going to prove. And I mean, that's kind of very difficult to explain on a flat earth. There's just things that I'm noticing that are very hard to explain on a flat earth. I want to like to see people's explanations, of this.
All right, a bunch of questions have come in now. So,
Okay.
The grumpy old mechanic, my mom bakes cakes first, says, why is there an equator on a flat Earth?
Very good. Very good. I don't think that the equator has I don't think that flat Earth would say that the equator would have anything to do with the flat Earth, but there's things that I'm noticing. Like I was in Thailand, which is only 10 degrees above the equator, and I did see the sun set straight, and I saw the moon as well. The moon looked way different than it does in California, and I saw it set straight. So another thing that I've heard that I haven't confirmed is I've heard that the moon sets left to right in the north, and it also sets right to left in the south.
Yeah.
I'd have to ask Max that because he lives in the south, but that's another thing that I think that would be good to get as well. Max, you could probably get that where you're located if you have if you could get it setting right to left, the moon as well, so that we could see what's going on with that. It's just all it is just a bunch of people getting together, just gathering information about terrestrial, about the sun, about the moon, and about the stars. I will also film the stars when I'm in Punta Arenas. I'll do the best that I can to. I don't know how much time I'm going to have or how much clear skies I'm going to have. But Max, you could also probably do that too, where you're living too, right?
Yes. Remember that Icy Spin told you about that stream we tried on March 20th? We're probably going to try it again in September.
Okay.
And we will get the live stream of the sun going opposite ways at the same time.
Yeah.
But I can definitely try to get the moon. The funny thing is that the moon here is upside down.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. So also, Mike, I want to ask you because you know the glow model probably like better than all of us. So, with the sun rising in the southeast, setting in the southwest, um, is that also going in? Is that also making it go the opposite direction as the north as well?
Yeah,
Does that prove that too?
it moves right to left instead of left to right. So when you're at very far north, and as you get to the Arctic Circle, when you can see the sun the whole time, the sun goes left to right, and south of the Antarctic Circle, it goes right to left. So it's the opposite direction.
Okay, so I'd have to ask this. So does that mean that it's still going east to west
Yes.
It's
on both places?
yeah.
Okay, it means it's still going east to west. Okay, because that's something I heard somebody say, like, "Oh, the sun still travels east to west, so there's no way that it goes the opposite direction." But it does, though, right? It would still go a different direction.
But it's not just east to west, right? It's east to west, and it's moving right to left versus left to right, and so it can do both. It can go east to west and go clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay.
So that's a deception that I see flat earthers talk about. Nathan Thompson loves to deceive people with that tactic. It doesn't get out of the problem that it is counterclockwise and clockwise. So
Yeah.
all right.
You
If
might have heard
we
of-
do like a sundial, it also goes the other way.
Yeah, it reverses.
Okay.
Okay, the grumpial mechanics.
Like,
Hold
I
on.
was going to say Witsit saying that you can be on the other side of the stars. That was what I
Oh.
wanted to add.
Yeah, like a clock. Like if you're on the other side of a clock, it goes clockwise versus counterclockwise, right? But on this, when are you on the other side of the clock? You're never on the other side of it. Like if there's a firmament, you didn't go above the firmament to see it rotating in the opposite direction. That's what the clock thing
Literally
is.
the argument.
The
Okay,
argument also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I want to keep going here because there's a bunch of people. The Grumpy Old Mechanic says, "What does Josh think of the Venerable Beatty's analysis of the shape of the Earth?" And so, if you're not familiar with it, the Venerable Beatty, it's a person 672 to 735 AD, firmly concluded that the Earth was a sphere. In his writings, it's a ball, not a shield. And he had some reasons in it. So this is from the 7th century. Somebody saying that the Earth is a sphere.
Okay, 7th century. Wow. Yeah, interesting. So I think there's different perceptions of it, obviously, of the shape of the Earth. I think in the last 10 years it made like a comeback, and the biblical portion for me, like I felt like it was lining up biblically. I was taking like conspiracies and show how it relates to the Bible, and then flat Earth became something that I was like, wow, this is a conspiracy that lines up with the Bible, So it's something that I kind of dove into really deep, and kind of like listening to like Rob Skiba and a lot of these biblical cosmology teachers, and I just went into it deep. And when you're into it deep, it doesn't matter what someone says in the 7th century or whatever. You're kind of just focused on biblical verses that prove the shape of the Earth, right? I felt like it proved the shape of the Earth. Now in the last year and a half, or last year, I'm digging into the Bible, and I do feel like the Bible is geocentric still. I'm just kind of I'm opening my mind to finding out what the sun is actually doing. I used to teach that it was going away from you on a flat Earth, and that it was going clockwise over the flat Earth. That's what I thought it did. But I didn't have all the information that I needed to say that, to have the sun circling you anywhere past 66 degrees latitude in Antarctica. Any base that's in Antarctica has the sun circling them that's below 66 degrees, right? The sun is circling them for 24 hours. So if you take the AE map and you line it up, and you had bases all around the AE map, that means that you have the sun circling each base that's further than 66 degrees. So that obviously, when you guys came back from your trip, obviously it made me think like, okay, how is this possible? I was searching for answers from all the different flat earthers that I used to listen to, and most of the people that I heard were either saying that the trip is faked, or they were saying that that everybody has their own apparent son. That there's just a lot of different ideas out there, but I didn't have like concrete evidence of how that could work. So I put that to the side, and I was like, okay, so let's see what the sun is doing. That's why I was like, let's go see what the sun's doing in Edmonton, Canada. Let's go see what the sun is doing in Punta Arenas, and let's just check from different latitudes. Like 53 degrees north, 53 degrees south. Let's see what it's doing there. If we already know, if you do believe TFE, then you know what the sun's doing down at the you would say the bottom of the globe, or you would say in the south as a flat earther. We already know what it's doing there. We already know what it's doing in the Arctic. Let's see what it's doing in between 90 and 0, right? Like let's see what it's doing, and that's the whole reason for the trip. And that's just what I'm doing. I just want to see for myself. That's the whole idea. So.
All right. Scotty Orange says, is there a fundamental relationship between flat earth and Christianity? And you've kind of touched this already, so you don't need to go too hard on it.
I think that here's the problem with, I think that some people would have is, let's say all the shows that I did, and let's say that somebody was led to God through flat earth, right? Let's say they were like, okay, I believe in the Bible now, and I believe in God because of flat earth, right? And then let's say down the road, they find out that it's a globe. I would kind of feel bad for them to flip to atheism now because they feel like the Bible's wrong about the shape of the earth. That could be a problem. So I noticed that. I didn't notice that before. I was thinking like, I'm going to get people, I didn't mind. I was like, oh, I want to get people into flat earth. I want to get people to God through flat earth or through these Bible verses or through this. But now I'm noticing it could be an issue if people are becoming Christian because of flat earth and they're bringing it closer to God. But then all of a sudden they find out it's a globe. Are they going to flip now to not believing in the Bible or God? That would be a bad thing. So now I'm going through verse by verse through the whole entire Bible so they could see all of the Bible for themselves. And then, that way they're not just stuck with only dependent on the shape of the earth or those verses in the Bible, if that makes sense.
Okay. Max, I kind of interrupted you, I think, before.
Yeah, but I was going to say that I invited Vika, who obviously wouldn't go. I invited some guy that was on with Vika called Ira, and he said that he wouldn't go because he was afraid that I would poison him. I invited Vlad. I invited Vlad because Vlad came on. I was like, "Oh, Vlad, this guy is afraid of me. You're a big tough military man. Why don't you come to Punta Arenas with us?" And of course, he also said no, but I will get all of the tickets. If I buy a piece of chewing gum on the street, I will get a ticket, and I will get a binder full of tickets for Vlad. So he gets them tickets.
Vlad demanded to see Jaren's ticket for the flight from Punta Arenas. Yeah.
I saw that.
This is Rob Skiba's book, Testing the Globe. Yeah. Testing the Globe. And now people who I think would have said that they like Rob Skiba, they don't want you to test the globe. Okay. PhD Tony says, can your guest clarify what other scientific disciplines the Bible is authoritative on besides geochronology, geodesy, orbital dynamics, astronomy, astrophysics, general relativity, etc.?
Okay, so what I would say is
little tongue in cheek there.
You don't have to believe it, but I do believe that the Bible would tell you like the age of the earth if you believe the Bible. If you don't believe the Bible, then obviously you're going to believe in the 13.6 billion years ago the stars were formed, 4.6 billion years ago the sun was formed, 4.5 billion years ago the earth was formed. I understand you believing all that, but I do believe that the Bible tells you the age of the earth personally. You guys don't have to believe that. I think the Bible I did believe that the Bible taught the shape of the earth. I used to think that, but I'm just kind of dissecting these verses now and finding out exactly what they mean. the etymology of them, exactly what the verses were meant for, reading the whole entire chapter instead of just cherry picking verses, but I couldn't really answer that, PhD Tony, because I'm not into the science portion of life. I'm more into the biblical teaching and stuff like that. So I don't want to say that the Bible's going to prove exactly what you've learned about earthquakes, or you learned about all these different things that you like to go over. I'm not the right guy to ask that question to. Probably Jason Lyle would be great to ask that question to.
Well, and for reference, Hugh Ross, who you mentioned, is also a Christian. Reasons to Believe, is that his organization?
Yeah.
I've got one of his books here. I was going to debate him on Modern Day Debate. He's
you wanted to debate him on what?
well, he thinks that aliens exist and that they're demons. That's what this book is. So that was what the topic was maybe going to be. So I'm like, I should get the book so I know where he's coming from.
What were you gonna? Can I ask you a question? What side would you come to on that? Like,
I don't see any evidence that
alien
encounters have happened. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's all. And so he's. I don't know if it would have been
aliens. So
the
let
point.
me ask you this, Mike.
Okay,
Can I ask you this, Mike?
Sure.
If aliens did exist, or wouldn't you, as a Christian, maybe believe that if let's say there was evidence of some kind of extraterrestrial, wouldn't you think that would be more of like demonic or some type of fallen angel than be like an actual alien? Or
no, I'd think awesome. Star Trek is awesome. Love Star Trek. That's
okay.
Why not? Why can't there be other life?
Yeah. Okay. I'm just asking.
Anyway, my point about Hugh Ross is that he is a Christian. He has a large organization, and he does think that the Earth is old and that the universe is old.
Yep. I've listened to all his debates that he's done as well. And I respect, like I said, I respect everybody's beliefs, and that's his field that's his field, and that's Jason Lyle's field. That's not my field at all. So it's interesting.
All right. Swords Edge, you got to pronounce that W, says, is Josh prepared for the blowback when he gets back? He's so nice, and they are going to put him through hell.
I'm already got blowback already. I've already been going through it. So, I mean, when I get back, what's the blowback going to be? It can't be any worse than it's already been already, to be honest.
And then on the same vein there, we got, you sound like you're prepared for the wrath of some of your soon-to-be former friends. Glad you're in a buddy system with Jaren. It's unfortunate that you insist on seeing it yourself, I think.
Yeah, it's well, it's not only seeing it myself, it's like me going there and filming it for 17 hours and just seeing the way that the sun moves. I think it's important for people in our community to see as well. And seeing it for myself is a big thing for me, but I'm not like the type of guy that's like, I didn't go to Antarctica, I didn't film it, so it's not real. Like, that's not me. I think that you could take other people's informations, like all of us have in the flat earth community as well. Like when Rob Skiba was filming the Michigan skyline on that boat, like, he was trying to, film the skyline, or there's different things that people have done. We would take that as evidence. We wouldn't say that that's fake or something like that. So I'm not going to take what other people have done just because they're on the globe side as not being evidence. Like, we got to look at everything, and we got to be intellectually honest with what we see, and we got to make our decision from there, and the blowback has already been happening already. People have already said, I'm a shill, I'm a paid agent. I was in the army and I'm still getting paid from, whatever I'm getting paid from. I don't know what they're trying to say. I'm some kind of actor. I've been faking out the community for 4.5 years. I've already gotten the blowback already. So I
called it.
Yeah, I know. I already knew. But I've been through. Go ahead.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I've been through basic training before. I've had drill sergeants yelling in my face. I've been through the military before. I've had a lot of different, way harder stuff than flat earthers online coming at me from different angles. So I'm okay with it.
And you don't tie your identity to it, and so that frees you to make more of an accurate decision that's not tied to losing your entire social club because of something like that.
Yeah.
So
True. I'm more for Bible teaching than just flat earth only.
Douglas Jenkins, he got cut off and he completed it by saying, and not trust others. However, I know you will see globe evidence. So that was the rest of his comment. It was split into two. But you addressed that already. All right. The Grumpy Old Mechanic says, has Josh heard of the Roald Anderson expedition or Amundsen expedition to the South Pole, or the hundreds of people who have skied to the South Pole? So Amundsen and another guy, Scott, both went from basically from opposite coasts, met. They didn't meet. One got there, left a tent and some things and a note, I think, and then left. And then the other crew got there later. So they both got there from opposite sides within the same year.
Using the sun.
Yes.
To like basically, that's the part that I thought was interesting. They weren't using GPS. I mean, this is a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And they were basically using the way the sun's was circling them to get to that point. I heard. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. You can use the elevation of the sun throughout the day to determine where you are. So if 12 hours apart, it's changed in elevation significantly, then you're not there. But if it's at the same elevation for 24 hours, or of course it's very slightly changing all the time. But if that's what you measure, then you know you're in the vicinity of the South Pole to the accuracy of your instrumentation.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I heard that from Will Duffy. He was talking about that. And also Jaron was explaining that to me when I was in Edmonton. Yeah,
Jaron, that's what he thought about the whole flight back. This one here, we got Mr. Roboto, Domo Arigato, says, besides Jaron, did any other major flatties renounce their decision after TFE? And yes, in fact, they did. I'll put the link to the list on the wiki there. So now, there's plenty of non-major ones that do it, that have escaped. But you got Jaron, you've got Robbie Davidson, Patricia Steer, Paul and the Plane, and they were shortly after TFE. But others that are less major, PJ CNET, who used to be in the chat here all the time, he's escaped. Shifty Eyes Shady has escaped because of it. I think we have like a whole list of those that were because of Lisbeth, who went with us. Landry, not as big of a name, but good friends with Jaron. So the whole list is there. Well, it's not.
What about the guy that's
authoritative
doing the observations on the sun? He was doing them every 6 months or whatever.
Melodome, yep.
Melodome, that's right.
So I think all those people were believing in the AE map, and they were believing with the sun, making the clockwise rotation over the AE map. That's what made them, not all of them, I don't know all of them, but that's, I think, what made their decision, because that's what they taught and that's what they thought. They believed that, right? So that's a big thing. I had some conversations with Robbie, some deep conversations with Robbie, to find out what he was, what made him change, and also with Jaron as well, I think it's good because people were like, why would you listen to Jaron, or why would you listen to this person? Why would you I wanted to go and search out Jaron because he was a flat earther for 10 years. Obviously people were saying before that, oh, he's a shill, he's this. But anyways, I didn't take it like that. I was like, all right, let me just see what he has to say about why he changed. So he had like a 12-part series, I think, that I kind of went through the whole thing. It was like 13 hours of podcasting of information. So I wanted to digest that. Then I wanted to go and check all these other flat earthers to see what they're saying, and to see if anybody has any answer for what happened on the trip. And like I said, all I was seeing was people saying that it's faked, but they wouldn't admit though that if it did happen, that means that the earth isn't flat. They were just saying that it's faked. So I was like, okay, so is that what we do? Like, that's not research, I was a conspiracy theorist researcher. Like when I research stuff, I don't just be like, all right, that's just fake, no matter if it doesn't go with what I believe. We need to hit it head on, and try to find out what's going on with this and why it happened, instead of just saying that it's fake because it doesn't go along with our model, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You follow evidence where it leads instead of deciding at the beginning what the answer's got to be, and then letting your pre-selected conclusion tell you which evidence to accept. That's the wrong way to do. That's
bias.
not logic.
You have a preconceived bias going in, and then you hold to that. If anything that is outside of your evidence goes against that preconceived bias, then you're not going to accept it as evidence. You're going to say that it's fake. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. So that's just
I got
me.
a question though.
Yes, sir.
Are you? I briefly mentioned the fact that it's good to have a set of things that you would actually accept, right? And you would go with whatever. For example, if the sun does do the opposite direction, is that something that is a clean cut separation, or are you still in the camp of like, well, let me look at what else is going on? Or do you have a set of like parameters that you will accept and will allow to change your mind?
Well, Icy Spin, before you came on, I was talking to Mike, and I was telling him that not only is it the sun going from the southeast to the southwest, but it's also like at 10 p.m. in Punta Arenas, it's 12 p.m. in Australia. The sun is going that direction. So I'm gonna call someone over there. They're gonna live stream or not live stream, but they're gonna Zoom with me, and they're gonna show me where the sun is located. Okay, so we have the sun going from Punta Arenas over to the west, and then it's going towards Australia. And then we have somebody in South Africa that's gonna also, hopefully we can get a hold of, and they could tell us where the sun is at. So at whatever time, Punta Arenas time, I'm gonna be able to be tracking the sun and seeing that it's this twilight in that area. And now it's coming, and it's going to be rising for me after it comes from South Africa. That is something that is, I mean, if you look at the bottom of like of a globe, then you're going to see that Australia, you're going to see South Africa, and then you're going to see Punta Arenas is all like in that area, and the sun is basically going around like that. That's kind of something that I think is something that I would have to see explained. Is this going to be concrete evidence 100% it's a globe for me? I think it's going to be a lot of stuff I could put just in a globe hat only and not a flat hat, So that's kind of what I want to do. I want to have like a flat earth hat, like a flat earth and globe, and then like only a globe, and then find out which evidence I could put in each one. And then I'll make my conclusion from there. I also want to see if there's any tests that we could do, like with curvature or anything else we could do with that. Cause that's something that, obviously everybody says, like Mike was talking about earlier, that they would say like, well, if it all lines up terrestrially, it doesn't mean that celestially, like the ground is going to be curved, So I would have to get into like those kind of tests as well. But I think there's some things that need to be explained. Like how could you explain the sun going to Australia and South Africa and then coming back to Punta Arenas? There's things that people would have to explain, and whether people want to accept that as evidence or not. I mean, that's kind of hard to explain on a flat Earth. So it's explainable on a globe, right? It's very hard to explain on a flat Earth.
And I think you mentioned the curvature, but like the longitude test, right? Do you think that implies curvature? It's certainly hard to explain on any flat model, right?
Yeah, it's hard to explain if the south it spreads out.
Right.
So yes, there's a multiple amount of things. Another thing is the stars going counterclockwise and clockwise. That's something that's very hard to explain. I've noticed in all the debates that I've heard. I've heard probably like every single debate, flat Earth, not the ones on TikTok now, but I'm talking about the ones that were actually like put out on Modern Day Debate. I mean, I've listened to all of them, and there's certain subjects that come up where we just don't know. Like we don't know. And then now that the TFE happened, and I see people debating, one thing that they won't even commit to is having a model or commit to what the sun is doing, because what'll happen is if you make a claim like that, you can go out and test it, and it can be proven wrong. So then it's like, so now we don't have a model, and then we don't like, I don't know what the sun does. I just know what the ground is, and it's like, okay, where are we going to get to where we're like, we know concrete what's happening here, So when I'm seeing stuff like that, it makes my mind think like, okay, well, you don't want to make a claim now because you can go out and prove that it's wrong. Like going to Punta Arenas. Like if you're saying that the sun goes around your head, no matter what, that's what it does on a flat Earth. Now you can go out and you can actually prove that that's true now. by going to Punta Arenas, or if you went to Antarctica. I mean, you could kind of prove these things. So since I'm noticing that, I'm like, well, so what do we have? Do we have a model? I used to think we did have a model. I used to think that it was the AE map or something like that. I'm not saying it's exactly like that, with the sun circling, right?
I have a question.
There's a lot of problems. Yes.
So you've talked about biblical cosmology. So the Bible doesn't say much about the sun, right? That comes from other things. Some people put the book of Enoch in the Bible. Some don't. I don't know if you do, but it doesn't, not super relevant to my question. My question is, what is the biblical cosmology position that you have, or held, or whatever, have for the last 5 years, of what the sun does in order to set biblically?
Okay, so if you go to like Ecclesiastes 1:5, you'll see that if you look up the word sun, like it'll say like sun goes down. If you look up that word, it could mean go away from you, right? But it doesn't. But there's different meanings for the word. Like in Hebrew, you can't just say, it's not the same as Greek where there's like a word that means exactly this. Like in the Hebrew, it can mean sun goes down, or it can mean sun goes. It doesn't say go away. It just says sun goes,
okay,
or a sun comes. Okay. But it can also mean that sun goes down or sun goes up. So there's different words. So as a flat earther, what we do is we go, I'm going to go with what fits
the conclusion
for me.
That was already selected.
And it means to come. So it's like a preconceived bias that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Now people flip out at this, the fact that I'm even saying this. But what I would say is there's different words like rakia, for example, which is firmament. I would say like it's firmament, right, in the King James, which means that it's firm and that it's solid, right? And then also, like if you go to like the Brown Driver's Briggs, I think it is, it would say that in Hebrew cosmology that it was a solid structure over the earth, right? So we're gonna go with that. But also there's a word expanse, and then next to it, like in parentheses, it would say solid, right? So we would say, all right, it's solid. But there's different, but if you go to like a lexicon, like a brand new lexicon of that word rakia, then they would say that it's spread out, or that it's an expanse. So there's different meanings for Hebrew words. But what happens is, as flat earthers, then we have a preconceived bias going in. So we're going to choose these that go with the flat earth model. And that's the way we explain it. And that's what I was doing as a biblical cosmologist. I'm going to lay it out. That's what I was doing. I had, and people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but you have a preconceived bias going in. One thing that Rob Skiba says is take all your preconceived biases and put them to the side, and then come to the Bible and see what the shape of the earth is. The preconceived bias that he was speaking of would be someone that has a globe belief. Put that to the side and just read the Bible and see what it says. But the sun, like you see in like Joshua 10, like verse 12, it says that the sun stood still, and the moon and the sun stood still and over the valley of Ajan, and and it was basically they were fighting against the Amorites. So God stopped the moon and the sun until they avenged their enemies. It was about a whole day. And it also says this. It also says this in the book of Jasher, right? So certain things happen where you see the sun and the moon stopping in the sky in the Bible. And as a flat earther, you would say, well, it doesn't say that the earth stopped. It says that the sun and the moon stopped only, right? So there's verses like that. There's verses where it talks about the sun doing a circuit in the sky, which is Psalms 19, verses 1-6. It says it does a circuit to the ends of heaven, and nothing from the heat thereof, right, would be hidden. So now the Bible also talks about God created two great lights, a greater light to rule the day, lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon and the sun. So if we have one sun,
sometimes the moon isn't up at night.
Yeah.
So it's can't be 100% literal there.
So what I mean is there's only one sun in the Bible, one moon, and then there's the stars also. So
yeah. But
if you take,
but the moon isn't always up at night. When it's a new moon,
I know that
it's not up. So I mean that obviously can only be taken with a certain amount of literalness.
Yes. But you were talking about like what does it say about the sun? Well,
yeah.
what you would do is like biblical cosmology, you would look at every verse that talks about the sun. And what I'm saying here is that some of the verses that we're looking at for the sun, like Psalms 19 verses 1 through 6, it says that the sun does a circuit in the heaven from one end to the other. So as a flat earther, you're gonna say that it's making a circuit over the flat Earth, right?
But what I'm getting though is it doesn't present an explanation for how the sun sets, why you can't see it. But if you do go to neighboring cosmologies and you look at the Book of Enoch, they claim that the sun goes through a portal at night or goes underneath the earth at night or something like that, and that everybody on earth gets night at the same time. And that was the predominant position of people who thought the earth were flat in those times. So very likely the authors of the Bible that did think the earth was flat held that position, which isn't compatible at all with this one, right? And we know that night for us is daytime for somebody else. So it does not match that the position of the authors of the Bible and the neighboring cultures. Anyway, PhD Tony is here. He wanted to pop in and say hi.
How you doing, sir?
I just wanted to say that I applaud the idea of going and personally verifying stuff, and I think that it speaks highly to sort of your intellectual honesty. And Toon asked me not to press too much on the biblical stuff. I'll say that up front, but I am wondering, because sort of you do understand that 400 years ago, every serious scientist in the world thought that the Bible was absolutely correct, right? Would you accept that that was true?
That you're talking about all the scientists that were Christian that were
no, yeah, well, all of the senior science basically there were only professional scientists in Europe at the time, as we understand the term scientist, and sort of the formation of the Royal Society, etc. So all of those, Newton and Leibniz and that sort, everybody would have believed that the Earth was 6,000 years old, that there was the biblical flood was real, and going on. Would you accept that since we started and we had to abandon some of those positions as we gained information that the people who wrote the Bible didn't have access to? So we gained access, we gained the ability to detect things that they couldn't. And I'm just wondering to what extent you're willing to concede that it's possible for us to learn things that maybe the people who wrote, who you would say they're divinely inspired. Okay, and let's concede that that's true. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to try and argue with you that they weren't. But is it possible that they wrote down things according to their understanding that maybe with more evidence might not be 100% true?
Well, that's what I'd have to look at now. But like I'd have to kind of see different perspectives. Like I debated Peter Markley before, and that was his position. He said, "What's happening, Josh?" And me and him had a very cordial debate too, and we're both Christians. So he's like, "What's happening is like Joshua is speaking from his point of view, right? So when he's writing this, he's speaking from his point of view, So there's just, I mean, when you're deep into biblical cosmology and you're into that, then what happens is you're digesting information from people that are believing flat Earth or believing biblical cosmology, and it's strengthening your belief. But what happens is when your beliefs get tested, like the TFE or 24-hour sun in Antarctica, or when I'm learning different things, then what I have to do is be intellectually honest and take a step back and kind of see where I'm at. Like it's kind of like getting hit like with the right cross, like boom, you get hit and you're kind of like trying to find out, you're getting your bearings. That's kind of what's happening with me. I'm just now I'm not saying, what I would say is I don't think that the Bible is wrong if the earth it was a globe. I would say that my interpretation of the Bible would be wrong. I wouldn't say that the Bible is wrong. I would say that maybe I'm interpreting these verses wrong because there is different. If you talk to someone that speaks Hebrew, for example, they're not going to tell you like this word means exactly this. They're going to say this word can mean 5 different things, you know, and you just have to see what the context of the verses are to see what this exact word means. Now, if you're biblical cosmology, you're going to be like, it means this because this verse says this. But if you go through the whole entire chapter and you find out that they're not speaking about the shape of the earth, maybe in this exact verse, they're probably speaking about like kings and them disobeying God, and then all of a sudden this little chapter, this little verse here is saying that the earth is fixed and immovable, and then you're like, oh, that means the earth is fixed and immovable, and it doesn't move. There's just things I'm noticing where I'm trying to be like a Berean and study the Bible from and find out exactly what it means. And I also don't want to be teaching something to Christians that I could be held accountable for that is wrong. So I want to go test everything for myself and make sure I'm teaching it correctly, just like you would probably do as a PhD. You want to make sure you're teaching it correctly. You don't want to be teaching something that's wrong. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to study exactly what's happening here. And it's hard from my perspective, PhD Tony, because
you can just call me Tony.
Okay, Tony.
It's fine.
I just see your I call you PhD Tony because that's what I know you as online. I see all your debates and stuff.
So that was actually the suggestion of Team Skeptic that I changed my name to PhD Tony just for impact. But and it makes me sound like a dick because I'm bribing the fact that I have a PhD, but I'm just Tony. And you know, again, sort of, I admired the honesty of the approach, and I admired the sort of, you know, you mentioned the Ninth Commandment earlier, which I don't think enough flat earthers pay attention to. Sort of, I was a Christian for 35 years, and to me, sort of, the central message was always the spiritual and the moral teachings of Christ, rather than the biblical cosmology elements. Without, would that be something you would agree with to some extent, that the spiritual and the moral and the ethical teachings of Jesus should perhaps concern us a little bit more, or
yeah, I think that, okay, when you go through like the whole New Testament, you're reading it verse by verse, like 3 chapters at a time, you're digesting the information. It's like you start finding things that, like Paul would say, like, if you're bringing something divisive in the church, don't do that. If you're bringing something like this in the church, don't do that. Like and you're like, you're learning that we're taught to imitate Christ, first of all. And if you look at even anything that Christ has done, when he was on the earth, he's not like going and now he did, like, he points out things about the Pharisees, but the Pharisees are people that are religious, teaching people the Bible, and they have some things wrong, and they also he could see their heart, so he is calling them out. But he's not calling out Christians that don't know, that aren't trying to represent the Bible and teach. They're like, he's not doing that. He's not slandering them. He's speaking directly to the Pharisees, because the Pharisees are teaching a certain way that is wrong, and they're acting like it's right. And they also are doing something with their heart that's not correct. And God can obviously see that. So he's striking them with like he's striking back at them. But with the other people, obviously the tax collectors, anybody else, he knows that they know not what they do, because they don't know yet. So he teaches them, he's being nice to them, or loving them, or loving on them. And that's what they had a problem with him, because he would go to anybody, and he knows their heart. So he's able to see, he feels for them, and that's the way we should be as Christians. We should love on people, and we should lead people to Christ, and we should do it by our actions. And by me saying PhD Tony is this, and this, because he believes this, he's a bad person, he's a devil worshiper, and he's this, just because you're representing a certain thing, I don't think that's correct. What I should be doing is, when I speak to PhD Tony, I should be speaking to him in love, with respect, and hopefully that I could plant seeds a little bit with you, and then everybody else that's Christian can plant seeds with you. At some point, you accept Christ. That's all I can do, because it's not up to me to convert PhD Tony or Max. What it's up to me to do is to plant seeds and to show love and be different than anybody you see in the world. I'm supposed to be the light of the world, I'm not supposed to be darkness at all. I'm supposed to be light. So when you see me, you should be like, he has something I just don't have. Like, what is it? Like, I want that. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be like I'm slandering Mike or Icy Spin or Max or you because of what you believe, because you would never be attracted to the faith that way, ever. It's the wrong way to go about it, is what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, sort of speaking as someone who has something of a reputation for yelling at people who are wrong, or at least who I think are wrong, you raise a very good point. But and sort of, I can see your point of treating somebody who's coming at you honestly, with honesty, like reciprocating honesty for honesty. But would you concede that some of the way that flat earthers have begun reacting to you, begun reacting to the very possibility that you might go out and fact check what's going on, would you see that as a warning sign?
That's a red flag, 100%. It's a red flag for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a red flag, 100%. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's like, not only is it a red flag, but they're going to the point where they're creating stories about me and saying that I'm like a government shill and that I took the bag, I took money, telling their audience that, and their audience is actually sending DMs to me or messages to me saying that I can't believe you would do such a thing. You're such a terrible person. You're bad. And I'm over here like literally teaching the Bible verse by verse for an audience, taking my time out of my day. I work, I mean, it's a lot of work doing 2-hour Bible studies 2 times a week. It's not easy. And I'm like, okay, so I got people telling me that I'm a shill. I took a bag. My salvation is gone and all this stuff just because I'm going on a trip to Punta Arenas and Edmonton, Canada. Like, this is like schizophrenic, this is like literally borderline schizophrenic type of actions towards somebody. I see them creating stories in their mind about me that is not true. And from my point of view, I'm like, is it a red flag? 1,000% it's a red flag. It's almost like jw.org type of stuff, where like almost cult-like actions. And it's a red flag. And people would get so mad for me saying that. But I'm not saying the whole flat earth community is in a cult. What I'm saying is certain people in the flat earth community have cult-like behavior. And if like Jaron, when he flipped, all of a sudden everybody in the whole community flipped, Christians and regular flat earthers, on him. And it's like, that's called shunning. That's someone that like someone in Jehovah's Witness would do if somebody starts studying something different than jw.org. They will shun you out of the group, and that's what's happening to me in a way. And it's a red flag, 100%.
Banjo doesn't have much discernment, though. He said that I am an agent of the U.S. government when I'm not even American.
Did he also? Is he one of the people who thinks that you're my son?
Yes.
No.
Wait, no. But there are people that do.
There are people that do.
Josh, if you didn't get this, Josh,
glasses, are bald and have beards,
and are from the South,
exactly right?
And we're from the South.
Max's PhD,
Tony's
son. Lining up, Tony.
Uruguay is so close to Australia, like.
Yeah.
So you see how somebody could come up with a story and like basically say that, and then all of a sudden Max will get a message from somebody by somebody putting out a story like that. I know who your father is. It's PhD Tony. You guys have been working together. It's like, bro, chill. Like this is like I can't even believe that people would start making these stories up, and it's something that literally the psychology of this is mind-boggling for me. Where I'm just like, okay, is it a red flag? Of course, it's a red flag. It is like crazy to me. Yeah.
So and this sort of leads me into something that's a little bit more generic, but it's you've raised the issue a couple of times that you come from a very conspiracy theory sort of mindset.
Yes, I do.
And that is a very interesting psychological space, where sort of trust in institutions, in a wide variety of institutions is eroded through various mechanisms, and you begin to become uncertain about what you can believe or what you can't believe, and it's very difficult to know how to say this politely, because there are conspiracy theories that are true. There are certainly conspiracies that have turned out to be true. There are certainly unpleasant things that the American government and that other governments have done, that they've lied to their electorates and that were criminal. People should have faced charges. But can you see? Can you understand that people who don't share your level of mistrust can't follow you down some of these conspiracy theories?
Of course, yeah, yes, and people that don't believe in the Bible, I think it's probably I would definitely understand, because I would be coming at it from like any type of conspiracy that's happening. Like, I could show you through the Bible, like, that there's like evil forces that are like, spiritual host of wickedness that are kind of controlling these narratives. So even from a biblical standpoint, it even makes it even more deeper for me to believe, and explain. But for someone like you, how do I go to you and tell you, well, there's a devil, there's principalities of evil, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, there's demonic forces. You don't care about that because you don't believe in it. So it would be even harder to bring you down this path, is because you don't believe in any of that as well. So yeah, I understand, and I respect people's beliefs. And if somebody says that all conspiracies are not real, or there's just some that are, then that's cool. I mean, you wouldn't have to believe all the conspiracies. What I would do on my show is basically just try to dissect them. But do I see a problem? Like, when you get deep deep into conspiracies, I do see a little problem with some people. Yeah, like where it's like they just believe everything is fake, like every single thing is fake, to the point where if it was like a shooting at a Walmart, they probably would say, I might as well just jump in front of the bullets because they're fake anyways, I mean, deep like that, So I do see issues with it, but at this point, I stopped like conspiracy as much as I could and just teach straight Bible. I think I believe that's the truth. So I believe that doing that is the most important for me and for the people that listen to my show. I've never had anybody tell me, Josh, since you taught me about 9/11, bro, my whole life has changed. I quit drugs, I quit drinking, quit everything because you taught me about that. But I have heard people tell me like, hey, I quit drinking, I stayed away from alcohol because of the Bible studies that you've been doing. The effect of that is way better than the effect of waking somebody up to 9/11 being an inside job or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just have a different mindset now as opposed to I had like when I was first started podcasting, if that makes sense.
To that point, so I do want to wrap up a little bit here. We've been going for just over 2 hours. But to that point, Isaiah 8:12 says, don't get into conspiracies.
Yeah,
read it in context. But
I will point out that we have a fresh conspiracy theory that says that the fighting Uruguay were created by Saruman in Middle-earth, courtesy of 5 wells. He is, of course, making a pun on Uruguay and Uruguay. But yes, okay, I find that very plausible.
Love it.
I'm going for that one.
Just to say, I think that particularly in the flat Earth space, a lot of people on the globe side are in this flat Earth space just to yell at people, because it's become socially acceptable to yell at flat earthers. And I try not to instinctively yell at flat earthers until they've pissed me off. And generally that doesn't take very long because I've got a very short fuse. And I don't respond well to what I regard as intellectual dishonesty. So it's refreshing. It's really nice to sort of meet you for the first time and to see, intellectual honesty. We're not always going to agree, I think, about a lot of things. But I did just want to say, I don't feel anybody on the globe Earth side should be attacking anyone's religion, because religions can bring great comfort and can be very good for people. They can be what's providing, emotional and psychological balance in somebody's life. And just attacking somebody because they're Christian, or, attacking somebody's Christian belief, I don't believe is constructive. Conversely, I don't think that it's right to attack an atheist just because they happen to be an atheist, or a Muslim just because they happen to be a Muslim. And we should just sort of look at the evidence that's available to us and analyze that, and sort of and when it comes to religions, focus on the spiritual and moral benefits that can be derived from them. And people may believe that their religion is better, but I think that all religions,
atheists, and like, you guys are so buddy. I'm like, dude, I'm like that with everybody. Like, every single person I talk to, I'm a podcast host. I'm an independent podcast host. Anybody that's come on my show, I'm going to be nice. Max invited me on his show. I know that he has 12 questions for me. He's going to ask me. And these people are mad that I didn't like veer off the questions. I'm like, bro, he invited me on his show. I'm going to respect him in his platform. Like, I'm going to come on Mike's show and respect his platform. I'm not here to come on here and be like, I got you finally, Mike. I got you on now. Let's debate this. Like, I'm just like, dude, we're just talking like people. That's how it should be.
And
And it's something.
we had interacted from before, so I already knew that you were a genuinely nice person, and I am a nice person. Flat Earthers don't get to see that because they always get the bad side, because they try to insult me. And when people try to insult me, they regret it every single time without fail. Has been happening since I'm a kid, right? And they find it strange that I can just be nice, but I'm always nice, except to that.
We've got extensive buffering now, Max.
Yes.
So if you're going to say anything incredibly valuable, maybe leave it for a bit.
Okay.
I caught everything he said.
I'm trying to debug if it's something that I have control over or not. It is not what is often causing the buffering. So, but I am seeing it. I'm seeing it happen. Right. So it could just be my network.
Okay.
One of the things that is kind of really lost on Flat Earthers that they've been asking, like, Josh, why are you going with Max? And why, especially, I mean, they have a huge problem with Jaron. But then when I heard Jaron talk about this first, so I sent him a message on Telegram. I was like, I wanted to go to Punta Arenas on TFE, but I still wasn't like getting any extra YouTube money, right? So now that I own the channel and so on, I'm able to, afford it. And I was like, hey, Jaron, can I go? And Jaron was like, yeah. But what is lost on Flat Earthers is that I didn't even have to ask anyone. I could have just gone to Punta Arenas on my own around the day that you guys are there. And there's nothing anyone could have ever done about that. You can't kick me out of another country, right? Of course, I would never do that because I wouldn't want to inconvenience someone on the trip. So that's why I asked. But I could have just perfectly set things up on my own and gone on my own and just crashed the trip with no notice to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, could you guys imagine if y'all were talking about, like, I'm talking about like Toon, Tony and Max, and like the Globers were like, no, don't go to Antarctica. Like, this is gonna be bad. Like, don't, like, it's a weird feeling, I think, from both sides, and from someone coming in at as genuine as you've seemed to, Josh, and like just talking about what you went and saw at a place that people live, people go, people visit, what have you. And so it's just like Tony said, I think that it is commendable that you are, and believe it or not, it is very rare in this kind of segmented corner of the internet. It's really rare for people to see in our position. So it's definitely commendable.
All glory to God. Because I prayed about it like crazy, and I wanted to make sure that it's the right thing for me to do, and since I've been like going through the Bible, like I've literally been noticing things and getting closer to God. I'm not further away from him, Like sin, I believe brings you further away from God, but reading the word of God, I believe brings you closer. So I prayed about it and everything. And I also prayed about Jaren, and also I pray about Max, and that's just, I think it's going to be a great thing to do. I'm very looking forward to it.
I also feel obligated to note that people in the chat are alleging that I am so calm because I've been using drugs. No, well, in particular THC. No, I don't. So I don't smoke marijuana on any level. So no.
Also,
I'm
you're not debating someone.
I'm trying to reassure Toon that he can have me on his stream and I can be well behaved. I'm not always an absolute monster. That's all I'm trying to establish.
All right.
They'll probably say PhD Tony's nice to him because he's part of the group or something, some crazy thing.
All right. They'll think up something. All right. Let me if I can get through a few more of these. I got some super chats backed up, and then probably wrap it up after that. I'll put this one up from Jack Fetter. It's not really appropriate to the show here, so I'll put it up and thank you for it. And everybody can have a little chuckle, but that's not appropriate for the show. It's very kindergarten, and the kindergartner in me is laughing. Richie the Ones for 75 Uruguayan peso says, guys, please ask Josh to put more emphasis on the N in Punta Arenas for the sake of the Spanish speaker listening. Max, can we get a little clinic on how to pronounce Punta?
Punta.
Oh, Punta.
There we go.
Punta. Yeah, because the word puta is not a nice word.
I didn't even realize. Yep. If you don't put the N in there, that changes it. Just like if you don't put the SH in Nasha, it's a different word in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Chris Barker says, didn't Jesus say, blessed are those who believe and have not seen, and does not this play into what you're going to do?
Blessed. Well, it's talking about not seeing him. Yeah.
That's very context specific.
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't in that context obviously talking to St. Thomas about people who believe in his resurrection without having the opportunity to inspect his wounds. That's very different from there are other biblical quotations that you should verify. You should look into and investigate the facts before you choose to believe things. The believing without seeing is specific to Jesus. Sorry, I should perhaps have let Josh.
No, that was perfect, bro. That was perfect.
Right.
Great explanation.
So funny thing, context really is important. There are two Christian universities in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, Northwestern and Bethel. And sometimes at their football games, the people from Northwestern will hold up a sign and have a Bible verse out of context that says, go to Bethel and sin. go find it yourself and read the full. But they're just jabbing at each other a little fun. Jack Fetter says, how does Josh feel about flatties denying gravity? The only reason they do is gravity itself debunks flat Earth. Otherwise, why would they care?
What do I think about it? Well, I've heard all the debates about it. I've seen PhD Tony debate. I've seen MCToon debate. Witsit. I mean, all these different debates about it. So, there's some different things that they would say. Like electrostatics, and they would say density, buoyancy, and I'm not the guy to ask about the scientific portion. I was more in the biblical portion of it. So, I don't want to give you an answer to that.
Yeah, the big thing about it being electrostatics is that neutrons fall under gravity, but neutrons have never been observed to respond to an electrical field. So it can't be electrostatics. That's just physically impossible, because if it was electrostatics, we could easily deflect a neutron with an electric field. And so far, despite the strongest electric fields we can use, we just haven't been able to deflect a neutron so far. We suspect we suspect that there may be a charge asymmetry on the surface of a neutron, and that therefore they should be able to be deflect. But so far, the charge distribution, if there is any, seems to be so small that we can't regard with artificial electrical fields, we can't deflect them. So the electrostatics explanation is just gone, and the density buoyancy one is also impractical, because we can show that material at outside of a gravimeter moving a mass around. The big example I like to use is there's a superconducting gravimeter where you get a kid to sit on top of the gravimeter and you can see the gravity signal. Gravity is reduced because the mass of the kid is attracting the proof mass in the system upwards by 2 nanometers per second squared. So it's reducing gravity as measured by the instrument. So we can tell that moving the mass around outside the instrument changes what is measured by the instrument. So therefore, it can't just be density and buoyancy. That can't be the explanation, because doing stuff outside doesn't change the density and buoyancy inside the instrument. So those explanations both fail, which is why we accept gravity. On the other hand, I don't agree that gravity means that the Earth is necessarily spheroidal. You would only need some infinitely strong material within the Earth to make it flat. So you could have gravity be true and still have the Earth flat. You would need to break physics in order for it to happen, but you're breaking physics anyway. You just don't need to break gravity.
All right. Janusz Takas says, when is the trip? I will make the as predictions. And he did that for the trip.
My favorite experiment.
Yeah. So this was what I used to set up the sundial in the snow there on the ice. This is the one I actually brought, and he has said he'll make a version of this for the days that you guys will be there. So
19th to the 23rd, 19th to the 23rd in Punta Arenas.
And he knows where it's at.
Punta,
So.
yes. I arrived on Punta Arenas at on the 19th around 10, 11 p.m. or so.
All right.
Perfect.
Jim Daniels, who's Jack's brother, by the way, says, Josh, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate it. No worries.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing as well, even though I only lived in the US for 5 years. But the bravery and dedication of American servicemen has generally kept the free world very, very safe. And we should all be grateful for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Jack Vetter says, your guests are bogarting the questions. Bogarting means hogging them.
They're asking before they can ask, yeah.
Looking it up in the 1850s dictionary, damn it.
Yeah.
Right,
Jim Daniels says, chirp, #chirp is now trending on the YouTube. Followed by Jack Fetter, Mr. Chirp himself says, it was on topic. He even said he helps folks with prawn issues. I know, it was a joke that he said about he was making light of it because of the new rules in Florida. Yes, I got that. Let's see. Does Elder Bear tag me? Is that let's see. Oakley got another payday yesterday. His organ grinder Len paid him to dance for him. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Nathan Oakley is exceedingly vile. He just can't get enough of talking about raping other men.
The fact.
And let's see. I think something froze here. Hold on.
I spoke with Oakley today. It was fun.
And by yesterday he means today, because
yes, the
There it
day
is.
doesn't reset until I go to bed.
yeah. So yeah, apparently Len must have paid him to go on Worldwide Debate and not talk about raping men with his fist.
Oh no, but he did talk about that a whole lot.
Well, that wasn't a criteria of Len of him go. Oh,
It would seem to him that he actually paid him to do the opposite this time.
Oh,
if I can be fair.
So
Yeah,
that lovely. What a lovely Christian man Nathan Oakley is, who spends his days when he doesn't have any evidence, rather than present evidence for Flat Earth, he just talks about raping other men by shoving his fist up their behind, against their will, of course. And
He was behaving well.
He says it's okay. He says it's okay
Sorry.
because it's figurative and metaphorical.
Yeah.
I don't
He
see
wasn't
that.
doing it until he started getting super triggered with me, because obviously I managed to do the mantra counter live, and he got super triggered. Every time he chanted the mantra, I was like, that's 13, that's 14, that's 15, and so on. And eventually he got super tired and muted me.
Well, it is a neutral.
Josh.
It's a neutral platform there where he can mute other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would seem like this is tongue in cheek, right? Like these guys are just saying this guy. No, he is that vile, and it's absolutely abhorrent to see.
I've heard Nathan Oakley. Believe me, I've heard him already. I don't agree with treating people that way at all. So
The weirdest thing is that he considers himself to be a very effective Christian, a very effective and diligent Christian. And indeed, that seems to motivate his flat Earth adherence, which is very sad, because I think he's one of those people who actually doesn't really understand the Christian message at all.
of course, you could tell just by the way he treats people. Right away, immediately. Love thy neighbor as yourself is one of the main things, and love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul, right? So the main thing is to love thy neighbor as yourself. Immediately, if someone's not doing that, you know that they're not walking, they're not imitating Christ or following what Christ says,
Well, to my mind, that particular exchange where he goes on to discuss the parable of the Good Samaritan shortly thereafter. The parable of the Good Samaritan, where it isn't a matter of religious orthodoxy, it isn't a matter of because Samaritans were considered not to be religiously orthodox at the time, but they are capable. It is the Samaritan who is capable of the charity and the care for others, for strangers. And that empathy, that ability to care for other people is something that Oakley just completely lacks. It's unchristian, but nowadays I'm not a Christian, so I'm free to voice my impression. Nathan Oakley is just a horrible blight on humanity.
Can't disagree. I got two more, and then we're gonna wrap. And so, Josh, don't hang up when I wrap all this. But
okay,
the other three of you here, when we go,
Get
you
the
can
fuck out.
Good, yeah.
Right.
Get your shit and get out.
Jack Better says, did I violate Icy Spin's delicate sensitivity? Icy Spin was crying. He muted himself, but I heard it a little bit.
What was I upset about?
I don't know.
Probably about.
Klamtask, I'm gonna guess, for 50 Norwegian kroners, or we like to call them Nokia dollars, says, and I think this is probably Norwegian, says Hallo Iluken. I'm sure I pronounced that incorrectly. Says, I just started listening to the stream from the start now. Looking forward to the conversation. I see the panel is world class.
Well, it was until I joined.
That's right.
That's very kind, but I joined.
Well, it's weird. He said he just started, Tony, and he was very specific.
All right. Well,
the last one. Can
was
I
it.
do one self-promotion before we go?
Sure.
Tomorrow, there's another Flat Earth debate on Modern Day Debate between a guy that goes by the name of Click. No idea who he is, probably from TikTok.
It's a TikTok.
And Solly. So we're going to obviously have an after show for that. Be sure to do the things, and yeah, that's what we'll do tomorrow, Friday night. Thank
All
you so
right.
much. Too.
Thank you.
Josh, I can't wait to meet you, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you too, brother, for sure.
It's going to be great.
Tony, nice to meet you too as well. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
lovely to
I
meet
could-
you, even if only remotely.
I can tell you
but-
know your Bible, so that's awesome. You bring one verse up and you're able to commentate on it, which is amazing. I like that.
Well, as I say, I was a Christian for 35 years, so from your perspective, sadly lapsed now. But it's a religion I have a great deal of respect for, and I was reasonably serious in my faith and served as a minister. So it was not something that I treated trivially, but sort of, and I see the value in it, and this is why I don't particularly think it's fair or desirable to attack people simply on the basis of their faith. You seem like a really well-intentioned person, and I wish you good luck with the trip. Please travel safely. And I'll look forward to seeing what else you do in this space.
Thank you. IC Spin, nice talking. Thank you for defending me on Max's show. I heard you talking on there.
yeah.
And I appreciate it. Thank you, Max, too, for that. And I appreciate. Nice to meet all you guys. And Max, I'm looking forward to seeing you, brother.
Oh
Meeting
yeah,
you in person.
I have so many gifts I'm taking for you guys. It's going to be amazing. I already spoiled one because I didn't want the thing to get the wrong size, but I have some other little surprises that
You should make a
hope
beat. You should make a
for
beat
you
and
and
bring it to me.
There you go.
Okay.
That'd be
Definitely,
nice.
we can
That'd
also
probably
do
be
that.
good.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have some little stuff for your families and so on. So I like being a great ambassador for Uruguay. So
Nice.
there's going to be a lot of Uruguay stuff.
Nice.
Nice. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I'll be back next Tuesday with something, and everybody else. I'm no song. I'm just gonna wrap it up and see you all later. Bye.
Can I shout out my show? Or
Oh, sure, absolutely. It's linked.
Yeah.
It's linked in the
It's linked? Okay,
yeah, it's already
Josh
linked.
Monday Music and Podcast is my YouTube, and then my show is Josh Monday Christian and Conspiracy Podcast. It's on all audio platforms. Just let you know. Thank you.
All right, there we go. All right, everybody. We'll see you.